I have to use like a little add-on app thing in OBS to be able to, oh, see, now it says it's streaming. Or at least it says it is, but I don't see any video yet. There we go. Yay! Okay, so that's working. So I'm going to do a little announcement. Unplanned art live stream hang out me while I draw pages. Sorry, I'm sure the typing was very loud. My mic is like fully extended because I have a little table in front of my, you know, computer screen and everything so that I have room for my tablet, which you can't see on camera right now. Hang out with me while I draw pages for my webcomic, my topless equality / free. I'm trying to type a little quieter. Wow, I can spell. Nipple webcomic in the life of a top-free activist. And then we'll whoop, put it on, let's link to the tweet. Hi, you're the best. Keep it up. Thanks. What the heck? No, I'm trying to open my... Twitch.tv / there you go game. I almost wonder if I should go back. Go back to changing my name to Topless Topics just because I don't really do gaming specific stuff much right now because I am so short on time. But refugee escape. Yeah, that's a problematic word. Cuz it's like it, you know, like a trans person in a red state is obviously in a very bad spot, but refugee is sort of like Syrian victim that might get bombed. It feels a little tactless, I guess. Is that the word? I don't know, but I don't know. I guess either way you're in a horrible situation. So, all right, there we go. So I'm streaming. I'll pop the YouTube chat out, even though if we ever do get someone on YouTube chat, it's just, you know, assholes, generally. Okay. I'm gonna also put everyone... Doop-a-doop-doo. Okay, there we go. I announced it everywhere. I'm trying not to run my tongue along my... my temporary cap that I got on the tooth that got root canaled. I was at the dentist for 2.5 hours because they were like grinding it down. I did listen to a podcast for part of it, but I kept having to pull it out to hear them, and so I missed a lot. And also with the drill going, like I couldn't get my phone to let me do it louder. It kept saying like it was too loud, but it was not really that loud. And I think it's because I had to use the connection that goes from USB-C to headphone because my phone doesn't have a headphone jack, and also Bluetooth. So Bluetooth doesn't work very well for me, and also like it tends to lose battery, and they're easy to lose and everything like that. But so I think it was like it thought it was louder than it was. So I didn't get to hear very much. I was listening to Hysteria, which is all women podcast from Crooked Media that talks about like feminist issues and stuff. Hi, Emrich. Are you back? Are you back from Jamaica now? Thinking about going to Rooster Savi. Fucking nudism. Not today. Aiden was actually like, let's go to the beach. And I'm just like, I still think it's a little bit cold for me. My 4-year-old shares. Yeah, that's the video. It looks like it looks like it's streaming on YouTube now. So that's sad that you're home. Speaking of Wednesday, there was some stuff trending saying that they supposedly Beetlejuice 2 is in production. It's Tim Burton. And they said they were going to have Michael Keaton reprise his role as Beetlejuice, which He's 71 years old now. I just looked it up. But I mean, you know, some people are pretty fit in their 70s, especially when you're, you know, a rich Hollywood celebrity and you've got access to the best medical care. But anyway, so here's my sign. It's 90% finished. I'm going to outline this with darker pen. That's what I did up here, and I think it really helped on readability. It says "and win a free t-shirt." I still need to actually print out, or, you know, do some more t-shirts. I did print out like 4 or 5 more sheets of vinyl for me to weed. I did the like ban all nipples or no nipples, and the hard part is that, one, you know, I have a variety of phrases I can do, and then also colors, and then on the actual shirts it's like shirt color, shirt style, shirt size. It's hard to see. It looks like I didn't even do it enough here. That's not good. I might have to redo some of this. I figured out a way to make it... Oh, wait, no, duh. It's this side. Yeah, I figured out a way to make it turn strokes into cuts rather than trace the image so that the edges are cleaner. So I was kind of happy that I did that. But yeah, I did some hot pink ones and this like shiny one that doesn't look good on camera, but I think looks cool in real life. I have all these colors, and I still want to print them out and send them to you guys, you know, who've been following me for a while. Just on Discord, DM me your shirt size and like if you want maybe color, style, or whatever, and I can try to mix it up. I haven't mass ordered shirts yet. I'm like kind of dragging my heels because I don't want to spend a bunch of money on some cheap ass shitty product, and also I really don't want to go with Amazon, so I have to figure out where to order the shirts from. But I can always just go to Goodwill again, and I mean not Goodwill, but you know, thrift store, and see what they have there, which I've done in the past. I also want to record a video. Well, I want someone to come with me to record a video of me going to the thrift stores looking for stuff like that for me to make my shirts, because I thought it would be cool to make kind of a like behind the scenes, the making of the shirts or whatever video. But that's something that, you know, I have to plan ahead. So yeah, so I do stream Tuesdays and Thursdays on Joystick, and I announce it every time, so I'm not sure why you're not seeing it. I had to cancel yesterday because I was at the dentist, and I'm going to have to cancel Thursday after next, I think, because that's when I'm getting my permanent cap put in. Yeah, so I'll be here next week, Tuesday and Thursday, and then the week after that I'll do Tuesday, but I won't do Thursday. I did stop doing my Saturday streams because, you know, I only have the weekend with Matthew, and it's, I don't know, it was a lot of work, and it was kind of felt guilty asking him to watch the kids for 4 hours so I could stream, and plus they always would fucking come up here and interrupt me anyway, so that gets really, really irritating. But Daniel's Hot Topics, interesting name, hello. I lost my train of thought. So I want to start doing these streams on Fridays, but I'm not going to like hard schedule them because I tend to have appointments and stuff on Fridays. Like I said, you know, I had my physical earlier today. Redbubble merch shop is now taking 80% of sales. I've never heard of Redbubble, but that's why I don't go with these like print on demand ones, because they always take like a huge profit from it. And also I don't know the quality of the shirt, you know, like I have those 3 shirts that I got from T Fury a long time ago, and I love the design, but man, they are wearing away fast, and they're too small for me now anyway. So yeah, I'm 157 pounds apparently, which is more than even when I was pregnant. I was like only 145, and I'm okay with it. Like I don't, you know, I'm not obese or anything like that. Default way. Oh, I remember Coffee Cafe. I don't know. That used to be the biggest one. Like my friend would do some of her art that way, but my friend that died at 28 when I was like an older teen, the one that Aiden is named after one of her roleplay characters, so that shows you how old that was. Anyway, Redbubble, you know, I don't know. like, making them myself is nice because I can pick the design, or, you know, have whoever's ordering it pick the design, the color, the shirt size, blah, blah, blah. It just takes longer. And I haven't, you know, I'm still waiting for Zan to figure out how to set up a store where people can buy the credits and then use the credits to buy the shirt. Almost, maybe we could set up two different stores, and the t-shirt one could literally just be straight pay the money for the t-shirt, because, you know, the thing with Stripe is that I can't sell my artistic nude photos because they say it's selling porn. But I mean, a t-shirt with a phrase on it, like, unless it's like just having the draw like that, they're gonna say it's sexual. But they actually said that, like, if I took my photos and I like ran them through a filter so they look like a painting, then I could sell them. So somehow nude art is okay, but nude photography is not okay. Like, the fucking distinction between what's considered porn or not is so fucking stupid. And then of course on YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that, you know, like we were saying, like I showed the post earlier, you can wear there's a chick streaming right now, because it showed up on the page when I was setting up, that's wearing a little tiny bikini with her boobs like squishing out the sides, and that's okay on Twitch, but I can't even draw, you know, cartoonish topless lady without getting banned. And other people can, you know, it's not fair. I get banned way more than anyone else, but yeah, same old. Okay, so there's options. Yeah. Well, and like, one of the reasons I'm hesitant is that I feel like you guys who follow me a lot, like, you're all not rich. Like, I don't think I have a single person that follows me that's rich. And I have a lot of like older men that follow me that are on like fixed income and stuff, and they don't have money for a t-shirt. And so that's part of why I want to like make them and send them to you guys as like a thank you. I just ask that you like take some photos of you wearing them, please. I know Zan doesn't even want one because where would he wear it? But, you know, like, I'm rich and stuff. It's funny because you're a professional photographer, so get some like top quality photos from you. But I know it's on my to-do list, you know. I just keep saying that once I move my office downstairs, it'll be easier because I'll be able to like have more room and stuff like that. I lost my train of thought. So VidCon's matchmaking is going on right now, and apparently they also have this like mentorship thing that's separate. Super not rich. I don't think any of us are rich, especially not the last few weeks where I've had to put a whole bunch of money down into my tooth, and I took Aiden to the ER the other day because he started crying really hard out of nowhere. Turns out it's just another ear infection, but I haven't gotten the bill for that yet, and I'm like, hoping it's not thousands of dollars, but who knows? 2-hour visit to ER with insurance could easily be thousands of dollars because the US is a fucking shithole. Anyway, not to mention gun violence. Anyway, yeah. So when I move stuff around, it's been tough getting stuff done the last couple of days too, just because every day that I'm not streaming, I have like appointments I've been having to do. And like yesterday, Aiden stayed home sick, and my dad had to watch him while I went to the dentist. And I came home, and my dad was just like, because it's like Aiden wore him to the ground. Yeah, I mean, I'd settle for moving to Canada. I would really rather move to Scotland. It just seems like a really cool place to live. And, you know, they'll be one of the last to be affected by climate change. And it's just like beautiful there, and like I've had a couple, they actually kind of have been really busy. Like, I haven't heard from them very much, but I had a couple of regulars that were from Scotland, and they would tell me all about it and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. But I don't want to move everybody when my dad's still with us, because he's frail, and I just think it would be too much for him. It would be nice though. It's only okay for certain string trainers. I've been vanishing for slight skin showing while others get away with being nearly naked. Yeah, exactly. Just like YouTube. Fucking Normalize Nudity channel has full body, fully uncensored nudity. I posted a clip of my submission to their channel with censorship on mine, and mine got banned. It just... Hi, Vic. Thanks, that's nice of you. So I can try one of the names. No. Yes, that's why I want to move to Scotland. No, it's just like the castles and the greenery and the fact that like no gun violence, universal health care, high speed internet, even on the remote areas. Also, just their attitude from my friends who live in Scotland is just so much more laid back. Like you can walk through somebody's, farmland or whatever, just like casually, and they won't fucking shoot you as long as you're not like leaving a mess or whatever. They don't care. Don't have that here in the U.S. You walk through somebody's backwoods property, you might get shot in the face. Again, the U.S. is a shithole. Anyway. Oh, hi, Gutsurger. I didn't realize you were here today. 1 o'clock. A little early for you. Okay, so, yeah, I wanted to start, maybe not finish, but continue drawing on that webcomic page that I had started on. I'm eating some grits, which is probably not a good idea for, with my tooth and all. But she said, don't eat anything hard and don't eat anything sticky. And I'm like, well, there goes like 2/3 of the food groups. So, close on the house where you're going to cry. Why are you going to cry? That's exciting. Houses are, it depends on, like, if you get stuck with a junker that ends up having, way more repairs than you expected to do. But other than that, it's exciting. Are you going to be able to, I don't know if remodel's kind of big, but like paint walls or anything like that? Yeah, I know. Like that waiting for the offer to go all the way through. Well, I've told you guys about how our shitty house in San Diego, when we moved up here, it took us forever to sell it, and we sold it at a $40,000 loss because we had remodeled the kitchen and because it was really shitty. And we got HVAC installed because Southern California. And when we did it through the Hero program through Sears, and they were like, oh, it just adds on to the mortgage. But everyone that looked at it when we were selling, like, no, we want this completely paid for before we'll buy it. And so we had to spend all this money to pay it off. And we had this one family that was closing in on it, and then like they were on their way to sign the final papers, and they got into a car crash, and they decided it was a sign from God that they were like being hunted by demons and getting the house was cursed or whatever, so they pulled out at the last minute. It's like, what the fuck? If you don't want the house, just say you don't want the house. Like, I don't even know how they did that without incurring a fee. Like, aren't you basically contractually forced to buy the house once you like sign all the paperwork? But I don't know. But yeah, just, I don't know. So, I still want to move out in a rural area. I was watching, so Call Me Chris, with a K, is this funny Canadian YouTuber who is quite popular. She has like 11 million followers or something like that on YouTube, which compared to some people is not that much. Compared to me is like impossible, impossible heights. But anyway, she does these really silly videos, but she did one that went up, I think, yesterday, and I happened to watch it, where she was talking about how she has to move because she has all these stalkers, adult men, that found out where she lived, and they were like doorbell ditch her and like wait outside her property, and she's had drones fly over and everything like that, and this is in Canada, and it's just like one of the many benefits of not going viral is not having, stalkers. Jerry Springer died. I didn't know that. Yeah, I know. I heard that yesterday. And I was joking. I was like, end of an era, I guess, except I never watched it. I just knew about it through pop culture references. She's huge. Yeah, I didn't know about Chris until when I was looking through the featured creators for VidCon last year. Oh, I didn't finish talking about that, but sorry, I'm not even drawing it. You guys know how it is. I just talk for the whole time. But yeah, I started watching her videos, and she was one of the like 5 people on the entire list that I actually was enjoying the content of, because a lot of them are just, hot teenage boys or like 20-something-year-old boys or girls talking about high school, and just, I don't know, just not interesting to me. Which is fine because, I'm not the target demographic. I'm 2 years away from 40, and I totally accept it. Hadi Kosh on YouTube says, thank you for your topless equality effort. It's not easy, seriously. Thank you. It is not. And I feel bad that I'm constantly complaining about the same shit, the same bullshit bans, but it just keeps happening. I literally have a strike on YouTube right now because I put up that intersex interview with my friend, and I linked to her Discord server that she made. That's an intersex support group. and YouTube banned it, saying I was linking to porn, and I submitted an appeal, and they haven't responded. It's just been appeal submitted. And I mean, like, that's what always happens when I appeal. Either they reject it as soon as I file it, or it just stays unsubmitted forever. And it auto expires in July, but it's like I'm going to be going to VidCon with a strike on my YouTube. And like I can post again. I got banned for a week. You know, I couldn't post anything new for a week. But it's just so fucking infuriating. And, you know, when I was talking about my channel to people last year at VidCon, like, you know, meeting people, they'd be like, oh, but you can't post to YouTube, right? I'm like, I can't. Other people can. I can't. Same old shit. But, you know, I just have to keep putting my real versions up on PeerTube and putting the super censored versions up on YouTube with the handmade outfit and just being like, people, listen to me. Understand the English that I am saying. If you want to see the non-censored version, you must go to my website. You must watch it on PeerTube because I cannot put the uncensored version on YouTube. I cannot even put a mosaiced version. That also gets banned. Anyway. Reddit NSFW stuff. So on Tuesday's stream, so the first like hour of the stream, I looked up sex toys on Amazon and was like reading reviews and like kind of making fun of them and talking about how scary a lot of them look. And then after that, someone came in and suggested that I look at r/cos penis instead of cosplay. And it's people with dicks. I don't know if they all identify as male or not. Like their penises cosplaying. Like one guy puts like little paper doll like cutouts on his penis, another one draws face on it and whatever. Another guy does face paint, but he like uses his dick as the nose or whatever, so he did like a fox and a rhino or whatever. And I looked at that and I like was like, you know, oh, this one really low effort, you know, 1 out of 10. This one like looks pretty impressive, 10 out of 10. But I was also saying during the stream, like, I don't really like looking at penises. I don't find it a turn on. I don't find it beautiful. You know, it's a little funny, the whole like cosplay thing, but other than that, I'm just like, I have no desire to look at dicks. I have no desire to look at vaginas. I have no desire to look at genitals in general. Human bodies, I think, could be really pretty and artistic or whatever, but like genitals specifically, like Georgia O'Keeffe, you know, even or whatever, I'm just like, okay, like I don't really care. A whole subject called YouTube titties, but spelled correctly just to show nudity still. Oh, I know. There's whole fucking subreddits that are devoted to stuff like that, and you know, we know it's not fair. We know that I get banned to a degree that no one else does. It is known. Oh yeah. So back to VidCon matchmaking. There's apparently here. I'll open it up. And we can look at it together. There is a thingamajigger, VidCon mentor matchmaking. So there's the picture kind, which whatever, I don't care. And then they added this other one. Let me make sure that I don't have anything showing. Okay. So they added this new one that's a mentorship matchmaking, and like almost all of them are like how to make money off your content, how to get more famous and how to make money off your content. And it's completely useless to me because the challenges that I face on growing my channel and everything are not, you know, not knowing what to film about. It's the fact that like, why bother putting a lot of effort in my videos when they're going to get banned anyway? But I haven't submitted yet. It's open to like May 5th, I think, or something like that. And it's literally like a lottery. So, here. There we go. My camera's really far away right now. Because like I said, I have my extra little fold-out table here to put my tablet on it. But anyway, missed 2 weeks of streams. Well, I do record the stream, and then when I can, I put them up on Chom. The hard part is I can only upload 5 gigabytes at a time. And so when I do a really simple stream, a lot of times it's under that, so I can just upload it. But if I'm like playing a game, or like for some reason yesterday, the looking at the, you know, sex toys and making fun of them stream ended up like 11 gigabytes. So I need to cut it into parts and then like mess around with re-encoders and stuff like that to try to get it under 5 gigabytes, which is super fun. Which would, you know, yet another reason it would be great if I could make money in any way on my content, so I could pay for my own hosting and not have to be under a limit like that. But why would anyone else want to be on YouTube? How many Emmys have YouTube videos won? Well, they actually have the Streamies, which is funny because that's going on right now, which is basically like the Emmys for online content. And I mean, there's good videos out there. I mean, I love video essays, and like Jacob Geller does these amazing video essays about like horror video games and just like here, like, and he's one of the ones where he has his YouTube versions, but then he's also a creator on Nebula, which is basically online video that has to be like higher caliber, sort of like documentary type, whatever. And he is on there. Philosophy Tube is on there, stuff like that. And Nebula is only like $15 a month, and it gets you access to everything. I'm actually signed up to Nebula. I just don't use it very often because they don't have a smart TV app, and I don't like really sit and watch YouTube videos all that often. But yeah, and that's how they do it. Like, he has advertisements on his videos, although he'll make comments about like, you know, I probably will get demonetized on this one. You know, like False Evolution of Execution Methods is one that he just recently put up. And it's a really deep dive on like the myths about the various ones. Like the, you know, lethal injection is considered one of the most cruel ways, and like how often it doesn't work. There's not even a hard science behind how much of the stuff to use. And like one of the things that they use, it locks, like you can't move your body. So people think like, oh, it doesn't hurt. No, it hurts. You just can't move your body. You can't make an expression to be like, it hurts. But like a video like that or whatever, obviously, you know, YouTube won't monetize. If he was telling people to march in the Capitol and, you know, reject vaccines, that would be fine. But fucking YouTube. But yeah, like that's how a lot of people, as they go on Nebula or whatever. My stuff is not good enough. My stuff is not, you know, definitely to the caliber of that. Maybe I will get to a point where I will try that. I should try to reach out to sponsors more. Every now and then I'll like send out DMs or whatever to, you know, like Thinks Under or whatever, be like, hey, I'm a you know, topless equality activist, and I talk about all these feminist things, and I talk about periods and everything like that, and I think I'd be a great fit if you were interested in maybe being my sponsor. And they just never reply, and I'm stuck in the rock and a hard place, where because my stuff is banned everywhere, I can't build up the view numbers that sponsors will give me the time of day. And because I can't get any kind of, you know, payment for anything that I do, I don't have the money to up the production quality. Like, I've been using my dead mom's life insurance for like my new computer and stuff, and, you know, there's only so much left. But yeah, same old shit. Accuracy is the death of comedic satire. So yeah, anyway, these are the matchmaking things, and I haven't applied yet. You pick from the list, and you have like the one that you want to be in the most. This one might be interesting, how to get brand deals as a small channel. So that one actually, I mean, that one's probably going to be pretty popular, but anyway, so yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and open up. Why did it not turn on? Hopefully it actually works. I was having issues when I was trying to do this before. Come on. It's giving me the huion thing, but then it's not on. Let me plug and unplug it again down here. It'd be nice to have my computer where I can easily reach it. Ugh. Where are you, huion? Are you the huion? This is Seagate. It's plugged in. Why? Why you no work? Bleep, bloop, bleep, bloop. Hey! I don't know. I unplugged and I replugged and now it's open, so yay! Alright, I guess let's get some music going. And, the temp tooth is so sharp. It's like scratching up my cheek. Also, they put this little plastic thing that's a cheek guard to keep my cheek from touching the tooth because they said you can't get the tooth wet while they're working on it. And it has sharp edges and it was cutting into my cheek the whole time. They had a really cool thing. So I started going to a new dentist because you guys know I do not like my old dentist. And they had this new device that's really cool. Let me see if I can find it. I was looking it up on my phone the other day. Yeah. Tooth trigger warning. So it's this. It's this like wand and they go around and they go and it looks at your teeth and it builds a 3D model and it's so cool because you can like actually rotate it and everything like that, and I just was really fascinated by it. And I said, oh, I've never seen that before, and the dentist was like, really? Like, it's a standard thing that I guess a lot of dentists have, but the old dentist didn't. So that was cool. Okay, so let's open up Photoshop. I have not drawn anything on this since I was last streaming, like when I was drawing it on stream, so. Oh yeah, we had a movie playing when we were doing it. I forgot about that. By the way, in case we have any lurkers, or just, you know, regulars who might be in a different mood today, I'm always down for having a co-streamer. Or, you know, someone call in and talk to me while I do this. As long as you're not being an asshole. And, you know, not being a gross pervert or whatever. But it's nice when I don't have a drink. It's nice when I'm not the one that has to do all the talking. Okay. I'm going to open all this up. And then I'll switch screens. So I was working on a bikini, and I need to not feel like I need to be super in detail, because literally this is all going to be tiny. Yes, don't go off into the weeds about boring tech details. I mean, some of it was interesting, but you guys were really getting into just like very specific stuff where I was just like, this is not interesting to me. And probably not interesting to most of the people watching the stream. Okay, I'm trying to remember where I saved the thing I was working on. There it is. Nudity is a spectrum, which I don't even have anything on right now because I was going to do all the drawings first. So we finished the sock, and I think we were working on the pants. The shirt, bikini. I thought we were working on the pants. I remember working on the pants. Where the heck? There it is. Super baggy pants. Yeah, I know. Rub it in my face that nobody watches my streams, why don't you? Okay, so I think all these are okay to have on... I don't know, we'll find out. Let's just open a bunch of these. I may or may not get banned for it, who knows? As we know, there's no justice or consistency on who gets banned. Okay. Oh, and I want to plug in my this thingamajigger. So I can have access to some more buttons without having to have my entire keyboard I switched to a longer USB cord so that I can have my my keyboard actually in front of me. Because last time I was streaming, what the heck? Last time I was streaming, the cord was all tangled up, and I couldn't. Sorry. Speaking of tangled cords, again, I cannot wait until everything is wireless and actually like decent speed wireless. I will accept the cancer in exchange for being able to do everything wireless. I'm kidding. Cancer's scary. Speaking of, I got my physical today, and she did a pap smear, which normally people get done every 5 years, but because I had an abnormal pap smear almost a decade ago when I first started dating Matthew, they make me do it every year. And she also said that once I hit 40, she wants to do a colonoscopy, which is when they knock you unconscious and they stick a camera up your colon. And I have never been anesthetized ever in my life that I can think of. And it scares me just because of the handful of cases I've heard of people dying in anesthesia, which I know, people die doing all sorts of things, but it's still just, ugh. I guess there's more horrible ways to die, but I just prefer to not die all overall. Plus, if you don't do the cancer screening and you don't know you have cancer, it means you don't have cancer, right? I'm going to screen share. I'm opening it first because, sometimes Photoshop will be like, most recent files, and I don't want to have like a thumbnail from before showing, so I want to be conscious when I die. I don't know. I just don't want to increase the chances of dying. That's it. I'm not suicidal anymore. Speaking of Collins, I know she said she probably wouldn't, but I'm going to still ask Lauren if she's willing to do an interview with us about her first social nudity experience. Yeah, I would love that. She can do audio only if she wants. She doesn't have to, show herself if she doesn't want to. Maybe we'll have you in the room with her and she can be like off camera talking. That'd be fine, I'm happy to do whatever makes people comfortable. But can't see what... Oh, you're responding to him. Okay. Shot to death by a jealous husband. You're gonna be getting it on at 102. Man, I don't even have sex now because it's too much work. I was talking about that with the sex toys. It's like I can't I'm on Twitch now, so I have to be more careful. I can't reach fulsomeness. I can't think of the word. Not fulsomeness, that means attractive. I cannot feel sated with, even penetration is like a bad word now. With, biological intimacy. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm saying without toys, that boat ain't sailing. But, completion, there you go. A beach today. Podcast underrated. I know! Again! On my huge fucking list of shit that I need to do. Like, if I can find someone to hire that I can, like, trust, or contractually trust, I don't know. I could put all my old videos on, like, a thumb drive and send it to them and have them extract the audio, and put it up as podcast episodes and everything like that. I would love to find a social media manager who can come up with, SEO friendly titles and make all the social media posts for me and everything like that. But the couple of times I've tried, it has not worked out. I have paid people to be my social media manager and then they did nothing. So, and I was paying my friend to make a website for me, and then I paid her and she disappeared off the face of the earth. And then I paid someone a trial run to edit a video and they didn't do it the way I liked it all, and yet they still charge a lot of money for it. And it's just, every time I try to hire somebody, I have not been pleased with the results. And then yes, dancing around the O word. Because again, teeny tiny bikini with your boobs squished out, fine. But saying any words like that probably get me banned. Other people no, but me, yes. Yeah. But I'm hoping that maybe I can find something like that at VidCon. There was a panel that I wasn't able to go to last year because there was another panel I really wanted to go to more at the same time. But it was like how to start hiring a team or something like that. And like that would have been useful. I've contacted a couple of people who are other creators about how they found their people. And the only ones that responded said that they still do their own editing. And I'm like, well, like Philosophy Tube says she does her own editing and her videos are like freaking feature-length film, like top quality, and that's incredibly impressive. I know she has like a costume manager and a set manager and a script writer. I mean, I assume she writes the script and then she has someone like look at it and clean it up, which would be nice, but part automated, working on proper generic intros and outros. Yeah, but I still have to get the files to you to extract it, unless it's something that you can like, I don't know, I can just open the program, drag and drop the video file, have it extract that way or whatever. Because I can extract with Premiere, but the sound quality is not that good. And I know she does one video every 2 months. But, like, the thing is, I could do videos like that. I mean, it would be exhausting. But, as always, it feels really defeatist to put a lot of effort into a video when it could just easily get banned anyway. And also, like, even when I do work hard on videos and they don't get banned, they get, like, no views. And no views means no sponsors, and no sponsors means no money to hire people and pay for stuff to increase the quality of my videos. So, also, bitch, bitch, whine, bitch. You know, I'm home all day with the kids in school and daycare. I basically have no excuse for not having, speaking of Emmys, Emmy quality videos, but also being tired all the time, but that's my own fault for not exercising better. Python install your computer, you can just run the program. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway. Alright, I'm gonna switch screens. I'm gonna drag this over here. And then drag this over here. I don't have Discord open right now, but whatever. And then nope, that's not what I want. Let me go to studio mode. And start a new one. I'm going to copy, duplicate. There we go. And this is going to be huion with PIP. And it'll be the same as the other one, except that I'm going to have my other window. No, not window. Display. Let's see. Huion tablets. And we'll see if it works. Here we go. Canvas Pro. That's what it's called. I always forget. Okay. And then add in my stuff. Cool. And then how do I transition? They got rid of the transition button. I don't know what it is now. Okay. Huion. Alright, cool. So now you can see my screen. And I guess we'll put some music on till we maybe should I have like, I did it on Twitch before where I had like other people's videos playing while I worked on other stuff and I didn't get in trouble for it. I don't know. I don't know if I'll get in trouble if I do that. I kind of don't care. Maybe I'll just do it and see if I get in trouble. I do know of Victoria Bateman. I've had a million people tell me about her. Thing is, she's like famous. And I've like tried to email to her. Do I live at Instagram too? No, because I have to do it on my phone, which is a pain in the ass. And I wouldn't be able to like show my screen and everything. And also because I've gotten banned on Instagram a lot. I'm already co-streaming to Twitch and YouTube right now, so yeah, I don't know. I only have so many spoons to give. And also, go topless and free the nipple community. There is no community. I have looked at it. I have not ever found another creator, certainly not a female presenting creator, who focuses on topless equality. There's nudism/naturism creators, but there's none that focus on topless equality. And if there is one out there, please get me in contact with them, because I have never found one. Anyway. I don't know. So should I try playing content from some of the other featured creators at VidCon to research them and for something so I can concentrate on drawing, but risk getting in trouble for like copyright infringement or something? I don't know. Who knows? Or should I just play music and feel compelled to do all the talking, in which case I won't really do much drawing? I know Zan hates other content creators. Like, it's very weird that you watch me at all, because you seem to hate everyone else. But Blender Open Movies, how many Blender Open Movies are there? We saw the one. Link me to some more. I don't know. Here, are they on YouTube? Blender movie. Yeah, Charge we already saw. They're like 5 minutes long. Here, you want to watch here's a 10 minute long one. Stop. I gotta add it in as a window. Window capture. Firefox? I don't know. There we go. And of course it's huge for some reason. I must be very careful I don't accidentally show anything. I'll put it down there. Here we go, Zan. Here we go. We'll have this 10-minute long Blender movie. No. I'm moving my chat window back over here. Whee. Okay. Any of the Kemenda's videos? I don't know. We watched the Charge. So here we go. Blender, open source sprite fight. What sprite fright? And I will get back to drawing. Hi. We're looking for open Blender movies that aren't copyrighted to watch while I stream, because I don't want to get in trouble for copyright. But if I do all the talking, then I don't actually get any work done. I'm sure he's going to say I'm exaggerating. He doesn't hate all content creators, but... Oh yeah, I couldn't ever figure out how to get the sound to work. Add audio input, or maybe output capture. Is that what I want? Does that do anything? Oh! Did I actually figure it out this time? Maybe.
Hello, Mr. Snail. Oh, you cute little corny-wisperson. That name, bonus points.
There we go.
I can't believe we got stuck with a tree hugger. If I had to hear that name for one more animal, I swear I'm gonna kill.
I remember walking to school once, and there was this asshole kid in front of me who was deliberately he was jumping on the snails. I was like, you monster!
Come on, team.
I maintained that attitude.
There's so much nature to see.
Oh my god, her voice is
We
annoying.
should call our class project Fun Guys in a Forest. Get it? Because we're a group of fun guys and also fun guys. Shush!
Zan just has a very different kind of content creator that he likes to watch.
There, my little Monticello.
He watches
Look at her go.
anarchist, anti-capitalist
Out of the way, Torquad.
stuff, which I mean I like too, but I just don't watch a ton of
Time
it.
to get that barbecue burning.
And
Oh dear.
tech tutorials, lots and lots of Blender videos. Oh, what bitches.
Easy, guys. We're supposed to be studying nature, not wrecking it.
Piss break.
Hello. Ah, it's on the wrong
Oi,
screen.
Fungus freak, make yourself useful and fix the tent.
Oh, a bit of friendly campsite ribbing. Fun.
She wouldn't survive 5 minutes alone in these woods.
Yeah, she's a real weenie, that one, innit?
Oi, Phil, how are those sausages coming?
Almost ready. Just need a bit more salt.
I just don't think there are topless equality groups. I don't think there's people focusing on topless equality. It's only nudists who want to be naked in public. And that's it. Like, there's just not topless equality focused people. I've never met one. And yes, I'm a little frustrated about it. Because if I actually knew some, then I would have a little bit of a support network. But right now, I don't.
Incredible. It's a new species.
There we go.
Bloody hell are those things?
Bloody hell.
Like a gnome shagged a mushroom.
That one's pretty much done.
They're absolutely adorable.
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah,
bloody
I'll do it later.
adorable. And I bet we'll make a fortune if we catch one of those things.
That one's
We'd be
done.
famous.
Get on MTV.
I wonder what they taste like.
MTV. That took me out of the moment.
Habitat.
Right.
Do kids even know what MTV is? Is it still a thing?
Welcome, friends. I'll be right down.
Dude.
Could I interest you in some peppermint tea? What
Honestly, this one's kind of done.
We are sprites. We sprite balance to the forest.
Yeah, I'm
We
calling it
take
done.
care of the animals. Ants, birds,
Guys, huh?
Hey, little mushroom geezer, you cool with us camping here for the night?
Absolutely. A friend of the
Now I want to watch Frozen.
of the sprite.
I would definitely get in trouble if I watched Frozen, though.
Maybe it was just ketchup or something like red paint?
It is in front. Oh. Let me go back a bit, so I missed a bunch. Yeah.
Absolutely adorable.
Yeah, absolutely bloody adorable.
Well, of course there's less censorship
We'll
for
make a
famous
fortune if
people
we
on
catch one of
YouTube.
those things.
We'd be famous.
Get on MTV.
I wonder what they taste like.
Oh, we really shouldn't disrupt their habitat.
Right. Sure.
Greetings. Welcome, friends. I'll be right down. Could I interest you in some peppermint tea?
What are you guys?
We are sprites. We sprite balance to the
Sprites.
forest. We take care of the animals.
What?
Guys, huh?
Hey, little mushroom geezer, you cool with us camping here for the night?
Absolutely. A friend of the
What?
forest.
Oh.
Friend of the sprites.
I'm not black.
Maybe,
There we go.
Maybe it was just ketchup or something like red paint?
I'm not drawing it black. There we go.
Maybe they were just painting their
No,
little
what?
hats or something.
Ah! There we go.
Guys?
Totally cheating drawing. Because
Guys?
it takes way too much time and effort.
Guys, this isn't funny. Guys?
Wait, an equivalent to MTV, much music. Oh, yours came pretty much less. Yeah, all of them do. They all go to fucking reality TV. I guess it's a lot easier to produce. Whoa. Whoa.
We were just gonna catch one, but they're psycho. You gotta get me out of these, hurry. They're gonna kill us.
I don't know if I should draw this part, but...
Left for leaf and stone. You picked the wrong camping spot, bitches.
Does it make me think of Disenchanted? which Matthew really likes. I didn't find the humor really to my taste. I wasn't like super offended, I just found it boring. Let's rotate. Does it make me want to watch, what's it called? American Horror Story 1984 again. Where it's basically like every cheesy, you know, murder camp, whatever storyline. But it's actually turned out to be one of my favorite seasons. It was just the right amount of camp. Yeah, exactly. Like, some parts of Disenchanted were funny, other ones were just really stupid. And not haha stupid, just like, okay, whatever. I'm very picky about my shows. Oh, smoothing got turned off. Ah. I'm obsessing again. Problem is, the more smoothing I add, the slower it gets for some reason. Even though I have like a quote-unquote supercomputer. At least I haven't had any mysterious crashes, knock on wood, for a while. Now that's a nice arch of a foot. That was a pretty sexy foot. That is definitely a foot that would get banned on Twitch. I mean, not Twitch, TikTok. Because they ban videos focusing on feet. Because someone out there sexualizes it, therefore anytime feet are focused, or anytime feet are shown, it's sexual. That's how the patriarchy thinks. Sorry, I'm talking over the video. I literally just, I don't know. I didn't really find Disenchanted all that entertaining. The creepy little fucking imp or whatever, that character irritated me. I liked the demon guy, he was funny. The gnome, though, was just like, haha, he's a gnome and he's perverted, so funny.
I'll give you that one, Brother Bird. All right, sprites, let's burn the bodies and have some peppermint tea.
Nature fights back. So I'm assuming this music is also open source or whatever. Probably had a foot fetish himself. Added term foot fetish is funny. Alright, so that was that one. Is there a playlist? Official Blender Open Movies. Here we go. I'll go ahead and play this again just for those of you who weren't here the last time we played it. Well, that's pretty cool. Imagine creative content for creativity's sake, not for money making. What is this shocking idea? And this one has no dialogue, if I remember correctly. It's very low quality because I have it so small. Sorry. I could make it bigger, but then it's gonna cover up my my screen while I draw, and ostensibly that's what we're doing right now. There's so many killer robot movies. I like ones where the robots have like human emotion and stuff like that, and they don't end up killer robots. I mean, now and then it's interesting. Like Ex Machina is pretty interesting. There was the one I saw a long time ago where it's this guy living remote, and he has 3 robots, and each one is like a different iteration of him trying to build a female companion. And like the first one's just this giant box that can't talk, but has the mentality of like a 16-year-old and like has little, you know, temper tantrums and stuff. It was really interesting. And then there was the second version that's like a 20-year-old, and then there's like the most human version that, of course, you know, the other 2 get jealous of. The idea of robots getting jealous is really interesting to me. Look at the detail on that face, though. That's pretty cool. Okay. Kick his ass! Whoa, that is really dark. Let's trying to thicken it up. Okay, let's do it this way. That was really short. I could just fill it, I guess. Actually, I could duplicate it and then combine it. There we go. Okay, so that was that video. We just did Sprite Blight, or Fright. The Machine. Is that a movie? Is that the one? I might have seen it, but yeah, I'll look it up. Now this is going to be hard color because you can kind of see the skin underneath. And it's always hard to make the skin look right on things like this. And of course this is, you know, Caucasian skin. I'm glad that Crayola and stuff stopped calling their pink stuff like skin color, because it's like there's many skin colors. It'd be funny if they had one called Caucasian though. They probably call it like salmon color or something like that. Burnt sienna, man. It's one of my favorites. I wish there was more dialogue in these movies, but I guess, you know, that takes hiring voice actors and stuff. Well, I hope you had a good trip to Jamaica. I mean, we missed you. I missed you. I don't know about anyone else, but I missed you. I've been holding off on playing any kind of Resident Evil or scary games for you to come back, so. Not just because I'm scared to play it, but also so you don't feel bad about missing out. I have no idea what's going on because I'm looking down here, not up there. And there's no audio. I mean, there's no voice acting, so. It's mostly for you guys. The post. Oh, not yet. I forgot. I've been busy with like going to the dentist and stuff, so. And unfortunately, the internet never works in any of the lobbies. The baby. I'm going to add a little bit to the top. Maybe not that much. Give it a more rounded. They're so short. Beggars can't be choosers. Yeah. I mean, it kind of forces you to, you know, not be on your phone the whole time, so. But it'd be nice to have a choice. Oh yeah, I didn't even try to connect to Wi-Fi. Just the, I don't think I even have Wi-Fi. Pretty music. Ah. I don't know. Actually, let's do this. Uh-oh. Getting pretty close to this being recognizable as a female leg. I'm trying to show where the garter connects because it looks kind of weird without it. Yes, we were watching the Magic Mike sequel when I was working on this before because for some reason that was on Netflix but the original Magic Mike wasn't. It's Toto! I was talking to this old guy while I was waiting in the lobby, and he, as expected, he dropped some like Republican-esque talking points. It was like whatever, but he mentioned buying some books. I was like, "What kind of books were they?" And he's like, "Something they don't teach anymore, history." I was like, I really wanted to be like, "Yeah, that's what happens when you ban books," but you don't have to explain it to me. I'm not watching it. It's for you guys. Pepper and carrot. Oh, that's cute. Oh, is that what you were linking to earlier? So why don't you call in right now, Rich? You can tell us about your trip. It doesn't have to be an official video. It could just be shooting the shit. Or we could talk about Resident Evil or something. Or are you like in a place where you can't do audio right now? Liv should be home any minute. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Okay. I mean, I think you can. Here, let's finish this video, and then I will, switch over to, Discord. I mean, I'll open up Discord, and then you can hang out there. I notice a lot of nature themes in these videos. God, this makes me think of all the frickin' creepypasta videos that are on YouTube. Even the official Mikey and JJ, because there's all these rip-offs. There's videos where there's the scary, like Slenderman and stuff, because that's what the kids click on. I'm just like, man, can you make a channel that doesn't have that stuff? Ow, a splinter. I feel like you could have stepped to the side and not gotten stepped on, maybe? And just picked the staff up after they had walked away? Or were they chasing after her and I missed it? Giant ladybugs. Making me want to watch Princess Mononoke for some reason. Still hungry. I'll just do this, whatever. No, not locked. There you go. I'm definitely noticing a theme. What? It looks the same. Okay. I was trying to do a lighter color. Okay. So let's see if I can switch. Wow, words. Over to Discord. And join the voice, I guess stream? I don't know. And then, yeah, it's using the same video, or same microphone. So why don't you join Discord and see if you can use the voice on Discord. I would assume you can also have the stream chat open. I mean, the stream screen open. I've never had Twitch work very well on my phone. Like, I couldn't get it to load. I haven't tried a ton, but I think I want to adjust my camera a little bit. I could zoom in, actually. I need a body double. Come on, you stupid. Like that. It's hard to tell if it's... See, it's too far back. Hey, I see you. I see you, baby. Chicken dead ass. Is that good? Decent, I guess. You're on your phone. Well, you're always on your phone because you're delivering, so. Okay. How's that? Oh, too far to the wrong way. Some sort of noise. Okay. Well, it says he's muted right now. So you have to enable the voice on your Discord. Cleo size cut out. Yeah, exactly. That'd be perfect. Oh, I'm tired. Always tired. Always, always, always tired. Okay. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Waiting to see if Emrich can figure out how to connect his voice. So we can have some co-stream and fun. And we're not gonna spend all day shading this. It's probably Link. Well, actually, this would be brighter. You can't unmute yourself, huh? Is that a setting somewhere? How do I... Can't unmute yourself. I don't see any options for my side that would unmute you. I think if you subscribe, there's not commercials. I don't know. Twitch won't let me not have commercials, so... Let me try voice chat. I don't know if that's going to make a difference. I don't know if there's different settings. Invite... Reach. There. I don't know if that's gonna make a difference. I think it's a setting on your Twitch, but I don't know. Gutsucker connects from his phone sometimes, I think, to voice chat, so maybe he could help you. I don't know if you're on the same kinds of phone though. Apparently, judging from the conversations I had at last VidCon, I'm the only content creator who doesn't use an iPhone. When you're very interested, well, you can always ask me to repeat what I was saying, and I probably won't remember what I said, but... yeah. We'll see if Emrich can join. Oh, well, I got a call. I can do the call. Whoa. Hi?
Hey.
Hey, I can hear you. Yay.
Yeah, so for some reason it was saying it didn't have permission for me to unmute it. So
Yeah, I don't know.
Anything in channel.
That's okay. This works.
Yep.
So, you, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Jamaica? You want to talk about Resident Evil? Want to talk about...
Yeah, I can tell you about the trip.
Okay, cool. So what did you... Okay, first of all, how did you get there? And, like, what kind of activities did you do while you were there?
So we flew American Airlines.
How was that?
direct flight from Charlotte. It was not too bad. The plane seats could be a little bigger.
Yeah. Oop, wrong layer. How long of a flight was it?
It's a 3 hour flight from Charlotte. Well,
Oh,
two and a
really?
half to 3 hour flight. So, and
Okay.
it was a direct flight too. So it was in that respect, it was pretty nice.
Yeah, I thought it would be a lot longer than that. That's nice. Yeah, when I go down to VidCon, it's gonna be like 2.5 hours down to San Jose, I think, and then like a 2 hour layover, and then like another 3 hours down to Santa Ana, which you would think it'd be a lot faster. I mean, it's only 1,000 miles away, and I'm of
Right.
course like trying not to freak out because I'm terrified of flying. Aiden's so cute. I told him that I'm like, I'm afraid of flying. He's like, it's okay, mommy. I'll protect you. I'll make a parachute and land you safely or something like that. And I'm just like, you're so cute. So you
I
flew
liked
in.
it. Yeah. So it wasn't my first plane ride, but
Yeah.
it was the first one in a long time. But
Yeah, I flew back from VidCon, but that's the last time that I pretty much ever went on one. And what kind of, you stayed, so the place you stayed at, was it officially a clothing optional one, or like, is that how they advertised?
So the resort is just the line's called Couples. They have a few different ones around Jamaica. It's not a clothing optional resort, but it is like an adult resort, so they don't allow kids.
Interesting.
But not like adult like that. It's just
Yeah.
they don't allow anyone like under 21. And I
Because people
don't
don't
know
want to
if they
deal with
allow, like,
screaming
single-
kids, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's an all-inclusive resort. We didn't really have to leave once we got there since they had like food and stuff there.
You're making me think of White
which was pretty
Lotus. I just saw the first season with my dad.
Yeah. So we kind of planned around not really doing much except like relaxing the whole time, which is exactly what we did.
So you didn't
So
go
that part
do
was
any of
nice.
you didn't go to any cultural areas or demonstrations
So
or anything?
what we ended up doing, actually the resort had a lot of that stuff there. So they had
Oh.
live entertainment every night. They had like local steel bands and fire dancers.
Oh,
and all kinds of
cool.
cool stuff. Right. Um, so besides that, the only thing we left to go do was we took a hiking thing one day up Dunn's River Falls,
Okay.
and they do like a cool video souvenir for that. They have like a videographer follow you while the group does the hike, and basically you go from the bottom, which is the beach, all the way to like not the very tippy top, but it's like I think he said like 1,000-foot climb.
They have a videographer follow you? That seems like meant for influencers.
It was an experience. So like they pretty much do that so that you're not stopping to take pictures the whole time.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's kind of like not super. I guess for people who do climbing, it wasn't that bad, but like that's kind of like my first climbing experience, and I
Yeah.
can definitely understand why they would not want people.
We always hear these stories about influencers like falling off mountains because they were like
Right.
trying to get the perfect shot.
Yeah, so they prevent that kind of stuff by just like having a videographer follow you.
Do you get the video when you get back?
So we had to pay for it. It was like a souvenir video, but it's like a 25-minute video, and like all the pictures they take of you, like they separate your.
Oh, I was gonna
pictures
say I
out.
wondered about that. Like
Yeah,
if they
so
edit
separate
it.
your pictures out. So you get all the pictures they take of you plus like the full 25-minute climb, and then they edit like music into it and stuff. So
That seems like it's
I
worth
think
the money.
Yeah, I thought so too. Like when they told us about it, it's like if we don't get any other souvenirs, like this one will definitely be worth getting because it's like an
Unique.
activity we did together, you know.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So that was pretty much like the one thing we left the resort for. There was another excursion we had planned to go to Mystic Mountain, which I don't really know if it's not really a theme park, but they offer like a bunch of stuff there. Like we were gonna go bobsledding, but they have like ATVs and zip lining and stuff
Bobsledding in
like that.
Jamaica. That's amazing. Is that because of the movie?
I think so.
That's funny.
Yeah. So they accidentally scheduled us for the wrong day, so we ended up not doing
Oh.
that. But it'd just be something else for us to do when we go back the next time.
Yeah. So you're gonna go back another time? What's your
Oh yeah.
timeline for that? Like next year, 10 years?
So if not next year, definitely the year after.
Oh, that's cool.
So leading into the part where we went to like the the nude, it wasn't like a beach, but the resort has an island like about 100, 250 feet off from the resort, um, and it's like a nude island, and they have like a little tiny sand beach, but they have like a pool over there, and they just have like a bunch of lawn chairs and a swim up bar. So the first time we went, we met a few old couples there, and a couple of them have been going to that specific resort longer than we've actually been alive.
Wow.
Yeah, so one of them was up to like 53 years, and another one wasn't really far behind that one. So they've they've been going a long time.
And still finding stuff to do, so that's cool. So how did you
Yeah,
end up picking Jamaica to go to?
Jamaica was Lauren's idea. Um, she's just always wanted to go back. When we went for our honeymoon cruise, we stopped in Ocho Rios as one of the places, and so she was just like really wanting to go back and actually stay for a while.
Yeah. Okay, so you had been there briefly once before.
Right.
A
Um,
honeymoon cruise, man, I'm so jealous. I didn't even get a honeymoon. I didn't even get a wedding. We just did a courthouse wedding because we wanted to buy a house.
well, we the engagement was a long time for us because
Yeah.
like I moved back home. She never moved out. We ended up saving to pay for the wedding ourselves, and so like
Yeah.
also so I could like pay down some debt and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
So
having multiple incomes makes a huge difference. Like, my dad's just his social security or whatever. That's what pays for Aiden's daycare. Otherwise, we couldn't afford daycare, so having
yeah,
multiple incomes
we
is helpful.
yeah very,
And now
and
you
so
have a
we
kid, a very furry kid.
yep, one who's knocked out right now. But we've only had him for a couple months though,
I
so
know, I'm teasing you.
but yeah, so that part was cool that we actually got to go back and stay. Because of when we booked it, we also got like a free night.
Oh, cool.
Because we did it over Black Friday.
Oh, deal. Okay. Oh, that's funny that they would have a Black Friday deal. Um,
Yeah, that resort actually runs specials pretty often. I was kind of shocked.
that's cool. So you went to Clothing Optional Beach. You managed to get her. Like, did you have to? What did you have to say to convince her to want to go?
Um, she she said she wouldn't back out if we went to the resort. So I just kind
And
of
did she seem like
felt
she
good
had a good
about it.
time?
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
that was the funny part was the first time we went, the first day we went, I should say, turned out like a really good time. We stayed out there for a few hours, socialized with a bunch of people. The resort, uh, the event coordinator at the resort had a little game out there.
Aw.
So like at certain points during the day, they go around to like different spots at the resort and do like I guess like little social mixer type
That's really cool.
games
I
there.
love that.
So we did one out there and got to know some people. Um, and
So,
yeah, she liked it.
how many people were like nude or topless, would you say?
So if you went to the island is mandatory, like
Oh,
no clothing. So I think that was kind of a big reason why very few people went.
yeah.
Um,
There's a lot of people that
not
like
that
to look and not participate.
Yeah, so that's kind of the cool part about where it was is like it's I guess it's kind of close enough that you can like see people are there, but it's
Yeah.
not close enough that you can just like sit there and stare at people.
Yeah.
So like if you want to go, you have to like it's a conscious decision. Like you're going out there, but
Yeah.
you have to take a boat to get there. It's only like a 30-second boat ride over there, but like you have to take a boat.
Yeah.
And if they know it's like your first time going, like the guy on the boat, make sure that like it's not clothing optional if you're going over there.
And not
This is
sexual,
another thing.
like, you can't be doing sex on the beach.
Well, we didn't get that talk, but
Uh,
I think it's kind of implied. Like no one, and that was another cool thing too. Is the people that were there were like older crowd.
was
I
it
think we
mostly
might have
white
been one of
people?
the youngest, uh, almost completely.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I would assume.
I made that I made that demographic observation in the post, but it was like I didn't want to notice that, but like obviously it's a thing you notice.
Yeah, well, I'm not
So like
surprised.
at the resort, at the resort overall, there weren't a lot of like black couples at all.
Yeah. That's one thing
Um,
about travel that, like, I mean, I haven't ever been to another country except for Canada briefly, but it's hard for me to avoid feeling exploitative. Like, I
right,
just feel like I'd be, because well, it's funny because, like, we've been watching Black Lotus, and that's something that they kind of touch on is that, like, it's kind of unavoidable if you go to a place as a tourist, like, you're reinforcing oppression, like, especially like in Hawaii, how the land was stolen from the people that live there, and
yeah,
it's like there's not really an ethical way. And I mean, but at the same time, there's like tourism and stuff is like a major money, the economy like of so many areas is literally built off tourism. And it's like
right,
it's kind of like, I don't know, this is a weird comparison that just jumped in my head. It's almost like the domestication of animals, because it's like, so dogs have been domesticated at some point that, at this point dogs have been domesticated so much that, it's bred into them, like they won't, a lot of them
right.
won't survive in the wild. Speaking of dogs, shut up, Fenris. Sheesh. I think Link's getting off the bus now. And but something like foxes, which are, really cute or whatever, they're wild
Yeah,
animals. So you would have to be like, you'd basically be torturing them, terrifying them and everything to domesticate them. Um,
right,
and so it's like with natural resources or whatever, like, somewhere that was really remote up till like 10 years ago or 20 years ago or something like that, probably you are more actively supporting the destruction of, natural environment. But if it's something that's already built their economy around tourism, I don't know. It
yeah.
sucks.
No, I
There's
get
no
what you're
zero
saying.
sum solution. Everything has a cost.
Right. Um,
I'm not trying to
and
make you
that
feel guilty, by the way. I'm just thinking aloud.
Yeah, no, it's a thing because like that is their main
Yep.
their Jamaica's thing is tourism,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you also can't completely ignore the fact that you know the population of Jamaica is black only because of like slaves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, it's like the topic of gentrification and, going into a neighborhood and just gutting everything and putting up identical Starbucks and stuff. And I still don't understand why developers do that in existing spots instead of going to like an empty area and building that up. Like, I guess it's just more immediate people to
the
move in.
turnover is
I don't.
more yeah the turnover is more immediate, and like I hate this because it's something that happens in my hometown, like literally in my backyard, where they tried to like screw my parents out of a lot of money to
Oh.
build a development.
Yeah.
And they ended up doing it. They just did it on the other side of the neighbor's house. But like,
Yeah.
if you already have the people in an area, it doesn't make sense for you to like not build in that area, you know, because you're not waiting for people to move in. Those people.
Well,
want
if we
conveniences
had
already.
if we had better like rail systems and everything, like people make fun of Biden being all into trains, but I mean, it would be so. I mean, it wouldn't be ideal, you know. It's nice to live really close to your job, but especially like with remote jobs too. Like, how many jobs really could be remote, and there's no real reason to demand people come into the office. But if we had better trains, you know, like I would love to take a train down into Portland, but I can't. I have to drive. And, you know, people like a lot of the people that I know that are moving here, they don't have cars. And so anytime we want to hang out, I have to drive down to them. And if we want to hang out up here, I have to drive down, pick them up, and bring them back. But yeah, sorry, I got off on a tangent.
No, but that leads to an interesting thing where like all the travel in Jamaica obviously is like more public transit because of all the tourism, you know. So,
Oh, cool. Yeah, you don't want to have to rent a car when you get there.
That would be a horrible. I couldn't imagine because you know they drive on the other side of the road, so like the whole
Yeah.
time I was over there was really confused. Like, am I gonna start doing that on the way back home accidentally? Like,
I know, that's stressful. Even playing a video game that's set in a, you know, where it's on the other side, I like get confused. That's a fair point. Plus, like, there's different traffic laws, and, you know, like, some countries, some areas, people will drive a lot more aggressively. Like, I notice when I watch videos of India, people will, like, walk and ride their bikes and stuff in the street. They don't have, like, bike lanes. And so you have to drive really slow and careful because there's, like, always people in front of you. So, but that's cool. So what, was it, like, buses, or?
Yeah, so there's a lot of everyone, it seemed like, taking buses everywhere, at least in the area.
I mean, buses are better than individual cars, too, as far as, like, you know.
That and taxis, obviously.
Yeah.
Because of the tourism, so everyone's taking, like, taxis everywhere. So, like, for example, the resort provided transportation to all of the excursions and stuff that you plan. And I think, like, a lot of the resorts, if they're going to offer that.
Yeah, they probably all give deals to each other.
Yeah.
So, I totally forgot what I was going to say. Well, so back to the nudist beach, because I'm just interested. So, there was only the island? There weren't any other places?
So for that resort, it's just the island. There's another couples resort that has like actual beach space. Jamaica in general is a little bit weird because they don't have official nude beaches there, from what I understand. They're kind of tolerant of like topless people on beaches, and
well, yeah, isn't the U.S. basically like one of the only places that, you know, obviously not compared to like Saudi Arabia, but as far as like just people wear bikinis, but, you know, women are not people aren't as freaked out about toplessness in other countries. The U.S. is like the only one, it seems like, that really freaks out about topless women. Sorry, you probably don't know that. It's just, that's what I've heard.
No, it's yeah. I mean, I've hung out in enough of like the nudist subreddit and like a bunch of other places.
Yeah.
But, like, that's a pretty standard conclusion. Americans in general are more prudish, and it's gotten to the point where, and this is a tangent too, I guess, that Americans are affecting that culture in other countries. Because Americans go and complain about it, and it's like.
Yep. And gotta cater to the white tourists.
Right, which is ridiculous. Like,
well, isn't that the stereotype about Americans? Is like we go to other countries and then we're like mad that it's not all in our language and meant to coddle us.
Right. And it's like, no, you're supposed to be going to travel to gain culture, not
Yeah,
change other
well, back to
people's
the
culture.
gentrification thing, you know? Like, that's if I ever went to travel, I would want it to be completely different. Like I would hate to ride a plane for 16 hours and have it be exactly like going, you know, down to San Diego or something. So I don't really
Exactly.
understand that.
Otherwise, there's no point.
Yeah. I don't know why, but that just reminded me of like I like watching period dramas and stuff, and there was one that's popping into my mind that was set in South Africa, and it was like the hoity-toity rich people or whatever, but they had their like private resort, not resort, but you know, I guess resort, but old days type. And they were like one of the characters was kind of a tomboy or whatever, and she actually like went out and did stuff in outside of this tourist area, and all the other women were like, "Oh my god, how could you? Like, you must have been so scared. You were in so much danger." Because how dare this character leave their coddled little rich area?
Yeah, it's like no, it's not dangerous. It's
Yeah.
maybe you should
Well,
not
I
share
mean,
it with everybody.
like,
Sometimes it is, but
yeah, I was gonna say Trevor Noah's autobiography, because he was born and raised in South Africa, and like he talks about how he was thrown out of a bus when he was 5 because these buses were basically sort of run like by the mafia equivalent, you know, South African equivalent of the mafia, and the guy was like making some rapey comments to the mom, and she was like nope, and she literally pushed Trevor out of the moving vehicle. And like it's a really good book, and he writes it with humor, and like there's definitely some really funny parts, but at the same time it's like what a horrible upbringing, living in terror. And like he lived in a well, he lived in different areas, but for a while he lived with his grandma and like 20 cousins in like a 1 bedroom, you know, made of tinfoil, like the stereotype or whatever. But then other times his mom managed to get a house in like a nicer area, but there was still like he was brutally, you know, bullied and stuff like that. And anyway, it was really interesting. It definitely, I don't think I could ever go to South Africa without feeling gross. Like I was being, you know, like I was encroaching. But I keep taking over. I'm sorry. I'm used to being the only one talking.
it's all good.
So, so you went hiking, you went to this beach a couple of times. What kind of food did you eat?
So the food was probably the best part. Um, Everything was farm to table,
Nice.
and yeah, so they had different different themes every night. But of course, like staple Jamaican food of like there's jerk chicken everywhere,
So
like
is it,
Jamaican beef
does it
patties.
tend to be spicy, or what is like the signature nature of Jamaican food?
So the jerk seasoning can be spicy. I guess it just depends on the blend.
Why is
Um,
it called jerk? Like, do you literally move the chicken a lot while you're cooking it or something?
so jerk is the name of the seasoning specifically
Oh,
that's on it.
okay.
So like you can have jerk chicken, jerk. So there was jerk chicken, jerk pork. Um, were like the two things that had like the were seasoned in that way. And I also had like a jerk burger, which was really good too. Like the first day I got there. Um, but they had some of everything. There's a lot of seafood, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not a seafood person, but I gotta
Ah.
say the seafood was amazing. So
That's okay. I'll
that
eat all
part
your
was cool.
seafood for you.
Yeah, I mean I was fine with that. There was like they had oxtail one night,
Oh,
actually a
interesting.
few nights, which
Was it really
was really
tough?
good. Not the way they made it.
Huh.
And like I have family that's like Haitian, and so that's the thing that they make
So
kind of
you
for
had it at like
everything.
family dinners?
Um, that particular family lives in like Boston, so
Oh,
they
okay.
they visit when they can. But yeah, when they've made dinner, that's the thing that they make pretty frequently. So I've had it before.
Man, I never got any interesting like cultural dishes when I was growing up. It was all like the most generic American stuff ever. It's funny because like, you know, my dad is very like he thinks everything is spicy, so it's like we'll go to Makoto's every now and then, which is like seafood and orange chicken or whatever, and he's like, oh, I can't. It's too exotic. It's like, Dad, it's not. Orange chicken is not exotic. Not anymore.
Nah, like that's mall food now. So.
Yeah. So, did you interact with the native people at all? Like born and raised there?
So like, I mean, pretty much everyone that works at the resort is like local. So,
Did they all have accents?
Yep.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Was it ever hard to understand them?
Every once in a while,
Yeah.
I kind of shock myself because like Spanish is a thing that they like some people speak there.
Oh.
And so one of the servers at dinner one night like asked me some stuff in Spanish. And,
Huh.
I
Interesting.
instinctively replied in Spanish.
I
didn't realize I did it until afterwards, and I was like, wow, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's
I
interesting.
haven't had to use it since high school.
Well, I guess it made an impression. Yeah, literally while I was waiting in the office today, I busted out Duolingo and I was doing Japanese again. And usually Duolingo doesn't work if there's no internet. But like I couldn't get enough internet to like watch a video or read an article or anything like that. But I was able to do Duolingo, and it was just funny because I just like immediately jumped right back into it. The whole riding the bike adage. You do something often enough, I guess.
Yeah, I'm glad that like language was one of those things that just kind of was pretty instinctually just came back, which was nice. Not that it was a complicated set of questions or anything, but enough that I could like just respond.
Yeah, being able to do it at all is great.
Yeah, and so then he was like a little shocked that I replied in Spanish.
Wait, he spoke to you in Spanish and he was so shocked that you spoke Spanish back?
Well, I mean, I think he didn't intend to do that because he was kind of new. Like everyone there speaks English, but I think it's just kind of one of those things you just
Didn't think about it.
I replied in Spanish, yeah, and then I replied in Spanish, and he didn't think about it until like I think he asked Lawrence the same thing about like the drinks or whatever, and then he realized.
Interesting. So what's the main language in Jamaica?
So I think because of tourism, like everyone speaks English. To tell you the truth, I'm not 100% sure what the official language in Jamaica is.
Yeah, I don't either. Like French, Haiti is French, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. That's cool. So, how did you, I totally lost my train of thought. Never mind. So you, how long were you there? A week?
Yeah, we were there for a week.
How many other places have you traveled to?
So that was like the first on purpose out of the country excursion we had.
Well, you said you went on a cruise, right?
I kind of don't count that. You're not in most of those places for more than a few hours. So we spent like 5 days on a boat with like a few hours in each port, like the few days we were at a port.
Yeah.
But I guess if you count that, then I've been Jamaica. We made a stop at like Cozumel, Mexico.
Oh, that's a very different spot.
Yeah. Well, because the way they do it is like the cruise leaves Florida and you just kind of sail around in a big circle.
Yeah. I say I want to go on a cruise someday to Alaska, just because, like, from what I've seen, the icebergs and everything look really cool, but I don't know, it probably would get boring after a while. But Matthew says he won't ever get on a big boat again, because, he was in the Navy.
Yeah. No, I completely understand that. It's definitely different.
Yeah, well, like, they have... They mock the, like, saying, oh, it's like a hive of disease and stuff like that, and, like, I get it, and I mean, you would hope that they would have pretty good protocols. I mean, it depends on which company you go with and everything like that, but I still remember beginning of COVID, that whole thing where there was the tourist boat and they all had COVID and Trump just like left them on the coast. I was like, as long as we don't let them in, then our COVID cases are low.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Oops, bumping the mic. Sorry, the mic is right next to, I keep bumping it with my hand. You were wondering the official language of Jamaica, it's English. Well, what did it used to be before English, I wonder? And how long has it been English? Everything. Sorry, I'm just catching up on the chat. Everything is zero sum. Terraforming takes time. Tear everything down to concrete takes half the time. Yeah. Beginning of the movie Up. Yep. Canada, we hear stories of U.S. tourists who weren't so bright, but we know most of you aren't stupid. Common ones when they come up here in the middle of July dressed for winter and carrying skis. Oh my god. Well, so the Bear Oaks guy, I sort of did it. I can't remember if he interviewed me or I interviewed him, but he was saying that like Toronto is apparently more south of the or closer to the equator than Portland is. I was like, really? I like looked it up. Yeah. So total departure then. Which is the best Resident Evil?
Ooh, that's a terrible question.
Okay, what's the most fun and what has the best story? How about that?
So I can only answer what my personal favorite.
Well, obviously.
And I would go with 5.
5, really? I think a hardcore Resident Evil fan like you, I thought we're supposed to hate 4, 5, and 6, the more actiony ones.
Well, 4 is a weird spot because it's a
Sorry, not 4.
game.
5 and 6, but yeah.
And a lot of people's introduction to Resident Evil is 4. Like my introduction to Resident Evil is 4 too, because I never.
Yeah, me too.
I was never a PlayStation person until like PS2.
Well, my hesitation with Resident Evil was just tank controls, and also like I liked the stories of Silent Hill. I thought it was more interesting. Resident Evil seemed more just like zombies. Like it just wasn't as interesting.
So, the RE stories are definitely more campy.
Yeah.
They have that 80s movie kind of vibe, especially like the first game especially was really, really campy. Mm-hmm. But like I enjoyed the camp. I don't have a problem with that, but I did have a problem with the tank controls, so I didn't play the original ones. A lot of people are going to crucify me for that. So, I gave tank controls a very honest try with Resident Evil. I tried them in Fear Effect, tried them with Dino Crisis, and Parasite Eve 2, which for some reason they switched to tank controls in that game. The first game didn't have them.
Yeah. People are silly. I mean, if you don't enjoy something, you don't enjoy it, Right. Something being harder doesn't make it better. See Dark Souls.
Well, you know what? I think a lot of people cite it being hard as a reason for the tank controls, and I just think that at the time they thought that was just the best movement scheme for what they were doing,
Yeah.
And now that we have dual control sticks and you can move the camera around, there's no need for that.
Yeah. I will say I was playing Breath of the Wild yesterday because I lost my save file and I'm trying to replay it all before I play Tears. And
I'm literally playing it right now.
And trying to chase around enemies. I'm like riding the horse, trying to attack the enemies and try to keep them in focus. And I'm like, I do not have enough fingers for this. So I miss with like Ocarina, you had the button that you would press it in and it would reorient the camera straight in front of you. Yeah. Well, I actually like that. Huh?
They still have it on Breath of the Wild.
Which button?
So it's one of the L buttons. It's the one. It's basically the same as the Z target on.
Yeah, but if you're fighting an enemy, it targets the enemy. It doesn't go forward. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I was trying to look forward because I was riding the horse. And I was trying to, like, turn the horse around. But it was just, like, it made me miss that button. And I remember, like, in Ocarina, you would auto-jump when you got to a corner, which was kind of nice, instead of having to, like, look at the ground and jump perfectly. I've never really been good at platforming, so... I played First Light. You know, I mentioned I played First Light recently, which is like an add-on game to Infamous Second Son. And I love the mobility on that game is so fun because you can like press the light, you know, where you turn into light and you just like run up and down and super jump and everything. And that's what I really like about the Infamous games is the mobility is really fun. And did you play Forspoken?
I haven't played Forspoken yet.
Yeah.
I plan on getting it.
Yeah, me too.
But it wasn't super high on my priority list with Resident Evil and Dead Space coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, I follow the development and like again, like mobility is really fun looking. I mean, that's a big point for me in games is if it's actually fun to play. And I was really sad cuz the reviews were all like, "Oh, it's generic. It's just not that fun." I was like, really?
You know, a lot of people got on the dialogue for that, and I watched a few streamers play it, and I honestly I don't know what people are talking about.
Well, they might,
Maybe
you know,
just too easily entertained.
not to be too SJW, quote unquote, but you know, there probably is a factor of like, oh, it's a black woman, therefore, of course, it's going to be woke and boring and blah, blah, blah. So. That could be a factor for some people. Yeah.
I don't put that past people at all.
And they don't, you know, like, people are so, well, most people are so loath to ever think that they might be racist about anything that they'll be like, no, it's actually bad. Like, I could never be racist. No, it's because it's bad. And it's like,
Right.
First step to being a better person is recognizing that you're not perfect.
Right. Like, sometimes you have biased opinions, and you only know that if you sit down and think about why you have those opinions.
Yeah, and take your ego out of it, which is the big thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Taking it as a personal indictment.
I also could be biased in the opposite direction and think people hate it specifically because of that. So
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think that's, like, absolute, like, everyone and, you know, the only possible critique for it. I'm sure for a lot of people. And, like, I'm the opposite in that I'm more likely to give something more of a chance if it's, you know, again, like a black woman as the character or whatever because you don't get that much choice. Or just female characters in general. Like, there's been more lately with, you know, Horizon and, well, Alex is one that people go to, but that one's, like, what, 20 years old now or something like that from the Half-Life one.
That, yeah, there was a platforming one that you probably didn't play, but Dandara was a big deal.
Yeah, I saw the art for it. I remember seeing the art for it. That's, is that one sort of like Transistor?
It is, no, this one's a platformer, but it's very unique platformer in that the only way you can move is by jumping.
Huh, interesting.
So, yeah,
is it a running sim?
No. It's literally, to move around the world is by jumping from place to place, but you're not bound by, like, gravity. So, it's kind of hard to explain. You kind of have to, like,
I'll have to
either
look
watch
into
someone
it.
play it or play it.
Because that sounds cool.
Get it. Yeah.
So anyway, back to what's the best Resident Evil. So you like 5 the most. So the earlier ones, it's the tank controls that mostly put you off?
Yeah, it was 100% the tank controls.
Not the, like, cheesy dialogue and stuff?
I like cheesy dialogue. I like
It can be, it's a delicate art to, like, find that sweet spot where it's cheesy but not, like, painfully so or whatever. And of course everyone has different levels of what they want, so I don't envy game developers trying to parse that out, trying to please everyone at the same time. So how did you what did you, I mean, you were talking a little bit about it in the Discord, but what did you think of the Resident Evil 4 remake versus the original. Like, I read that they added content and stuff and, like, reworked some of it. Like, they said Krauser was more interesting this time. Like, he was just sort of a brainless meathead before, and they said this time he actually has more of a backstory. Was that your impression?
I haven't finished it yet, but they definitely have explained more Krauser from
That's
what
cool.
I've seen. I got 2 more chapters to go before I'm like done completely.
How many chapters are there total?
I think it was 16.
Oh, wow. So you're really close to done then.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got to the part of the game that I personally hate the most in both the remake and the original, which is fighting the generators.
What do you hate about it? It's just tedious?
Generator. I hated them in the first game because like they're the one enemy you have to use like that specific.
Oh, the regenerators. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember those. You said generators and I was thinking of Dead by Daylight, which I know it's like really popular among streamers, but I still just find that game incredibly stressful. To a not fun degree. So, so which one would you say is the scariest then? 7?
7 is definitely the scariest of the modern ones.
Mm-hmm. Really? How can the early ones be scary when they're so cheesy though? Like, how can something be cheesy and scary at the same time?
So I think there's a lot of elements that go into that. If you kind of look past the cheesy, it's the same way that like the original Friday the 13th was scary, or like the original Nightmare on Elm Street was scary.
Yeah. True, I guess.
The cheese. So if you focus on the cheesy
Or
part,
The Thing.
obviously like the humor takes over from that. But I mean like that first reveal of zombie in the very first
I mean,
game,
I'm super easy to scare, but as we know.
But I think that's also why you focus on the cheesy so much, is because
So I can get through it.
Get scared. Yeah.
Maybe.
But I mean, like those zombies were creepy, man.
Yeah.
Even though they were like 6 or 32-bit zombies.
Yeah, and anything that like you can't get away from, like the Silent Hill 4, or not the zombies, but the ghosts that just follow you forever, that freaks me out so bad. Even in Zelda, the hands that, you know, come down from the ceiling and they pick you up, for some reason those always just really scared me because they can come at any time and you can't prevent them. Right. You know.
Re-Deads are creepy.
Re-Deads also, yeah. I think most people think Re-Deads are creepy, especially like the whole grabbing onto you when you walk by. Like, I remember there was one area, I think it was either Ocarina or Majora's Mask, but there was the one where it was like this under area, you had to like talk to Dante to go down there, and it was full of Re-Deads. And I just remember there was some item down there, and I really had to psych myself up to go down there, and I was just like, think of the item, come on, we're going down there for this item. I wish that I could fake horror and not be actually scared. That'd be so nice. So are you into Silent Hill 2, or not really that much?
I haven't played Silent Hill, but like I like the lore of Silent Hill a lot.
Yeah, same. I find it a lot more interesting as far as like the monsters reflect, you know, the character's psychological issues. And I always find that interesting. Because it's like, I don't like jump scares. I don't like gore, but I love, I guess, occult more than horror. But, you know, you say occult and people just think ghosts. And it's like, no, like, just that creepiness. Yeah. And I mean, you can even have, like, even, you know, aliens and stuff can be somewhat occult. I don't think there's, like, a hard definition necessarily, but... So... Yeah, Forspoken, I was sad because, like, I was following the development, and, like, the trailer that I saw, what they showed of Cuff was funny. They said that it's really annoying because you can't make him shut up, and, like, he just never stops talking. And, of course, we have that issue with Aloy in Forbidden West. So that's kind of annoying.
And Ares in Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, I mean, is, like, infamous. Hey, listen! Yeah, it's funny with Breath of the Wild, like, they'll just randomly have a tiny bit of dialogue and then nothing. And I was playing and, like, you know, some character was like, "Hoi!" And then the kids started imitating that for, like, the rest of the evening. They're just like, "Hoi!" And went to the giant fairy. I'm like, I missed the giant boob version. the torpedo boob version. What were you saying?
Nah, it's like the Zeldas are really bad for their PC dialogue.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we were talking about, like, if there'll ever be a Zelda, a TV show, and I mean, you can take source material and, like, make the writing better and stuff, and there is plenty of story. I mean, there's all these different generations and, you know, characters and everything, so I think it's kind of silly when people are like, there's nothing in Zelda that you could make a story out of. It's like, have you played a Zelda? But you definitely would have to, yeah, you would have to change stuff up for sure.
So I gotta take like a couple minute break.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
See you in a bit. I'm forcing myself to try not to spend forever on this. Again, it's only going to show on screen as like a little tiny thing, but the scary thing was the zombies. Yeah, that's what the re-deads are. The zombies that freeze you in place. Yeah. And like when you go to the town after, you know, the future, which is, I mean, that itself is also just a creepy concept of, you know, time goes forward and everyone's dead, and it's, you know, trying to go back to fix it or whatever. Actually, I was just finally watching another episode of Sandman with Matthew, because it's hard to get him in the mood to want to watch a show. Like, he's usually too tired and he wants to play games or just read a book on his phone or something. And in it, a bunch of bad stuff happens because something gets taken away from the Sandman, and he finally gets it back, and the Crow character's like, are you gonna, you know, go back in time and fix it? And of course he's like, you can't go back in time, but now we rebuild, or something like that. And I don't know, time travel has always been, it's been something that's hard for me to suspend my disbelief. Anytime I watch something that's time control or time travel, I'm just like, that doesn't make sense. Especially, like, how many of them are, you know, like, everything everywhere, all at once. And I know it's comedic, but, like, the sausage fingers, right? It's like, everything's the same except that people have sausage fingers. As if, you know, everything throughout human evolution wouldn't have turned out completely different if we had that kind of finger. Which, again, it's comedy, and I mean, I like, you know, everything everywhere all at once. It's just things that try to play it more straight. I'm just like, come on, that doesn't make sense. But that's also my issue with, like, a lot of zombie stuff or whatever. And, you know, I watched a video a long time ago that really made an impression on me that was like all the ways that not Resident Evil, The Walking Dead doesn't make sense. And, like, they were talking about, like, in the very first episode, they have these zombies rush up and, like, eat a horse. And the video, the guy's like, you know, these are just human fingers. Human fingers are not strong enough to, like, tear into through the muscle of a horse's stomach. No matter how frenzied they are, your fingers would wear down to nubs before you ever manage to do that. And again, I know you're not really supposed to think, you're supposed to suspend your disbelief, but I have never been good at that.
Zombies are just strong, you know?
Yeah, but it's not even about strength. It's about, like, how much your fingers, again, like, your fingers would wear away before, right, you know. But again, it's
also, like, how do zombies come back to life in the first place?
So, yeah. And all the, like, walking, like, when they're just a head and arms and they're dragging themselves on the floor, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, like, magical zombies. They
yeah.
have...
Well, that's what I say is like, just call it magic and I'm fine with it. But if you try to make it sound all scientific, I'm like, yeah, okay.
I don't. Did they ever say where the zombies come from in Walking Dead? Like, I haven't watched.
Well,
it,
it's a disease that like brings them back to life. I mean, I haven't watched it in a long time. My mom was really into it, and it was funny because I'd watch, I think, Game of Thrones or something, and she'd be like, "Oh, it's so violent. You shouldn't watch that in front of the kids." And then she'd watch Walking Dead in front of the kids. But it just seemed really silly to me. Yeah, they said it was like a disease. I don't remember the specifics. One of the big things that really irritated me about Walking Dead was just, and this is for a lot of shows, the characters would just do the dumbest shit. And it was just, it's very frustrating when a whole plot point is just based around stuff that the characters left open because they didn't fix it ahead of time. Like the whole season where they're on the farm, and of course, Chekhov's gun, eventually the farm gets overrun. It's like, why didn't you build trenches? Why didn't you build traps? Last of Us, the third episode, that's what the guy does, is he builds traps. He builds an electric fence. He actually prepares. And it's like, that makes a lot more sense. And that's one of the reasons I think it's such a good show.
A lot of Last of Us, they don't rely on the whole characters being stupid. Because,
yeah. And that's one of the reasons that I really like it. And like, White Lotus, obviously not zombies or whatever, but that's something else that I've been pleasantly surprised about, is that the characters, like, there'll be some kind of thing that in most series, or most popular series, especially older ones, would be like an entire season-long miscommunication. But in this, the character's like, I'm not stupid, I know you're XYZ, and it's like, yes! Because it's lazy to me. It's lazy to base your whole plot on a giant misunderstanding that could have been solved with like a 10-minute conversation. But
exactly.
I don't know.
And that, like, when you don't do that, it leaves room for so much more interesting and better.
Yeah. And not as easy to predict, and, there's so many series that would be really popular that I would try to get into, and I just couldn't get over it. And there's a lot of anime like that, but like, Supernatural is one that I come to a lot, where like people would talk about the characters or whatever, and I'd be like, that sounds awesome, but every time I would try to watch it, they would have that kind of stuff, just like big stupid misunderstandings, and it's just like, this is cheesy. I can't look past this enough to enjoy the show.
Supernatural is definitely based on how hot the
yeah, it's very Tumblr-esque show as far as like why it's so popular, probably, which is fine. It's fine to like a show because the characters are hot. There's a lot of shows that have like broken for me where I'm not gonna name it because I don't want to be mean, but there's a certain adaptation of a comic I like. And I'm just going to be honest, the guy that they picked for one of the characters is just really ugly. And I feel bad, but it's like, if he was his own character and it was a totally original stuff, then sure, fine, I could grow to like him. But you have your quote-unquote headcanon, where how you picture stuff. And like, this character just doesn't look anything like the comic. And I'm just like, why did they pick this actor? And everybody...
I really feel like you're talking about Benedict Cumberbatch here.
No, I'm talking about a more recent thing. But I actually was about to say, like, Benedict Cumberbatch. It's funny because, like, he's not attractive to me, but he does have a sort of... I don't even know if charisma is really the word. He does have a presence that I think is interesting. He has beautiful eyes. I'll give him that. He does have beautiful eyes. But he does have a distinctive face. And that's the thing is, like... What was it? Katy Perry and I watched some old movie and there was some like 90s star that was in everything and I can't remember who it was. She wasn't in Kate Upton. It was Kate Upton. And I was looking at modeling pictures of her and it's like she was like on the swimsuit sports edition or whatever. She was really famous and I'm looking at her and she has like the most generic face to me. Like, there's just nothing interesting or distinctive about her face at all. Versus someone like Tilda Swinton, or Meryl Streep, or, all these people with, like, far more interesting faces. And I mean, you know, you see like an L spread with Tilda Swinton or something, and she, you know, she could look beautiful. And I don't know. I don't really understand why anyone would go for a very generic face. But I remember I took an acting class that I actually really enjoyed, but one of the characters, one of the people there that I was sort of becoming friends with, but she was from this like rich family in Laguna Niguel, which is like a rich area outside of Los Angeles, and the teacher, it was funny because he kind of had an ego, which it was like, it's a community college class, dude, chill out. But he told her that she had kind of a generic face for like the standard, you know, protagonist, femme lead or whatever. And she was greatly offended at that he said you have this sort of like, I don't know if he used the word generic, but it was that kind of meaning. And she was just so mad. So mad. She was like, I want to quit the class because how dare he say that? Versus this other guy who he said, like, you have a good character actor face, which you might find more work as a character actor, but I mean, it's got to suck, you know, being told, like, no, you don't have the face that could ever play a romantic lead. And, you know, it's really inspiring when you hear from people. Like, there was some movie, I can't even remember what it was, but it was an Asian guy who played the romantic lead, and he was talking about, like, how his whole life, you know, casting agents would be like, you can't be a romantic lead. And then he finally got to be one, and he was saying how exciting it was. And I wish I could remember what it was. And then there's like Cowboy Bebop. Did you watch the live action Cowboy Bebop?
I didn't.
I saw the first couple episodes. I don't really understand what people are so pissy about. I mean, it's really violent, but like, I don't know. I don't know why people thought it was so bad. Ed is terrible. The voice, the person they picked for Ed is just completely wrong. And like, they tried to bring over the sort of like goofy mannerisms from the anime, but when you have a real life person moving like that, it just looks so cringe. It doesn't translate well. So that part I agree was terrible. But anyway, like some people were freaking out.
Didn't like Ed though, so I think that was a really big part of it.
Yeah, well, Ed doesn't come around till like way later. And then, like, of course, guys were all pissed off because Faye, they gave her, like, more clothing, so she's not wearing, like, a bikini. And it's like, really, is that, like, the most important thing about the character to you? It's not the attitude, it's not the, you know, backstory. No, it's, is she still wearing a weird bikini or not? People are stupid.
Anytime you don't get a character's costume right like that's going to irk like a certain group of people.
Yeah, but I mean, they took the aesthetic, like, it's the same aesthetic, she's just not half naked anymore, and it's still got like the same kind of style, I would say.
You know, it's kind of the same thing where take like Cammy for example.
Yeah.
And how like they changed her costume for Street Fighter 6, so where like she's actually wearing pants now or whatever, and like
her outfit always looks so extremely uncomfortable to me, like Wedgie City. But I mean, it's kind of campy. Yeah. Like a bunch of the characters are wearing silly clothes. Although then you have like Ryu, whose outfit's perfectly sensible. So I don't know. Depends on the character.
And It really does, because there are a lot of, and I would venture to say that Street Fighter 6 has some of the weirdest character outfits I've ever seen in a Street Fighter game. And I mean, like, I don't know how much Street Fighter you ever played, but like there have been some
very little, but
there's been some weird character outfits out there, you know?
Well, that's the thing, like with Street Fighter and stuff, is again, like, I'm interested in the characters and the story. I just don't really. The gameplay style of that kind of game, it just doesn't click in my brain. And to a little, you know, to a lesser degree, but I feel that same way about like Arkham and you know, Spider-Man Miles Morales or whatever, where it's just this like press this button and jump between punching different characters or whatever, and you have to like do this. It's almost like mini fighting game where it's like you have to press this button and then this button and then this button for this thing to happen. And yeah. I can't keep all that in my brain at the same time. Like I'm fighting, trying to juggle plates the whole time. versus, you know, a lot of other people are great at that. And I mean, maybe it is like people that like fighting games. I don't know. So what's your favorite genre of game?
So it used to be fighting game for a really long time. It
Why?
used to be RPGs. I don't know. It's just kind of a thing. I guess I picked up because a lot of my cousins were like. They
Yeah, if
had
you have
different
people to
systems
play
and stuff.
with, I can
Um,
see it being fun. I was a
yeah.
loser who
So
had no
back
friends,
then
so.
I had some people to play with, but there were certain games like I couldn't get people to play me in. Like Street Fighter was kind of one of those things where like we were all kind of like equally average at.
Of
But
course, I'm
I never
obsessed with
owned
Smash
Mortal
Bros,
Kombat.
but that's not a quote unquote real fighting game.
You know, people say that, but people also say Power Stone was a real fighting game, and it wasn't that different from Smash Brothers. So
Well, you know, back to people freaking out if anything ever changes.
yeah. Well, I mean, Power Stone was an old it's an old Dreamcast favorite.
Yeah. I actually, so that bar, the gaming bar, I actually see people playing Power Stone fairly often. Like, I guess a
Oh,
bunch of
nice.
people have memories of it. I never had a Dreamcast, so I never really played it, but
Yeah, Dreamcast was one of my favorite systems because of the fighting games. Like I got a Dreamcast specifically for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And
I remember playing oh wait, no, I'm
Fortnite
thinking of
was the
Sega CD. I was gonna say I remember playing a little bit of a Sonic game. Yeah, I never had a Dreamcast. I don't think I've ever. I don't even know what games I've played that are on Dreamcast. They had Chrono Cross, right? That was only
Chrono
on
Cross was
Dreamcast.
PlayStation 1.
Oh, okay. I was thinking there was one that was on Dreamcast. So, are there any
Uh,
series that you wish they'd bring back?
yeah, Parasite Eve for sure.
Yeah, I actually heard they were making a new one. I can't remember
Are
who
they?
it was, but I heard that it's in the works. So maybe it's a lie, but
I feel like that rumor comes out a lot, but
yeah.
I mean, if like Square Enix ever really said they were making a Parasite Eve, like that'd be one of those internet breaking
Well, didn't they
announcements, I
remake
think.
Perfect Dark? I want to say, or maybe they just remastered it.
So Perfect Dark was a rare game. They did Perfect Dark did get a,
Remake.
I guess kind of a they got a sequel, but I don't think it ever got like a remake. I could be wrong on that. I have a rare replay disc
Huh.
for Xbox because Microsoft owns Rare now, which
Yeah.
is and I know that Perfect Dark was on it, and that it had like a remaster. I think it was a little graphical upgrade there, but
Yeah.
basically Dino Crisis and Parasite Eve.
Oh yeah,
Because
Dino Crisis.
I like survival horror games,
Mhm.
and those are like the ones that also had the female leads. And
Yeah.
for some reason, Capcom seems to hate their female leads now. And I like Dino Crisis. This is the perfect time to bring back Dino Crisis because
Yeah.
it would look beautiful on the RE engine.
And we're getting all these, you know, we're getting remakes, but they're like remakes where they add a lot. I mean, I remember all the hype up to the Final Fantasy VII remake, which I still haven't gotten around to playing because I don't really like turn-based games, but you know, updated
Well, that one's
graphics
not
and
turn-based
everything.
anymore.
Huh?
It's not turn-based anymore, from what I understand.
Oh, really?
I thought it's active battle now.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
even with active battle, I mean like picking from a list of actions is just not very exciting to me. I like games
When I
like
say
Dark
active
Souls and
battle,
Zelda.
It's like you actually control the characters.
Hmm.
So not like Final Fantasy 12, but more.
I liked 12 actually. I liked the Gambit system, and like Dragon Age Origins, you know, had something similar. And I actually was starting to replay 12 on Xbox like half a year ago, maybe more than that. I gave up pretty quickly because I was in the palace and I kept getting lost, and I was just like, this is not holding my attention enough. But I liked it was a neat way to kind of almost like macro certain actions that you would do every time you would go up to an enemy anyway. And so it was kind of like sparing your
Yeah, I
hands.
thought 12 too.
Plus, obviously Fran is super hot, and I would go furry for Fran. Wouldn't cosplay her because of those damn heels, but plus, kind
You
of.
don't have to wear the heels.
I know, I'm kidding.
Of course, fanboys will yell at you, but
They can wear heels if they like. God, I still remember I made a Kid Icarus cosplay once, and because basically just from Smash Bros. Because like they didn't have any new games for it, and the old ones were very like original Super Mario level kind of controls and 8-bit characters, and I just didn't really care. And like I got to Anime Expo and I was all super proud, and this guy came up and was like, "Oh, awesome kit cosplay." I was like, "Thanks." And he's like, "Did you make the?" And they named like a sword or something. I was like, "Oh no, I didn't have time to make props." He's like, "Oh," and he walks away, and it's like, what the fuck? Just because I didn't make this one prop, all of a sudden your approval of my costume. But whatever. Of course, on Instagram, you follow one cosplayer and now you're getting a million other ones suggested. And I admit I tend to follow almost all the ones that end up in my suggestions, but they start to blend together almost after a minute. Unless they have like
it's really
yeah.
hard to find like the cosplayers that stick out.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's definitely Instagram is definitely fostered you have to fit this certain look.
Oh yeah.
To be a popular cosplayer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that, especially in like the like POC community,
yeah,
is a big deal because
most of the
they don't get the notoriety of like a lot of the cosplayers.
Well, that's how it always goes, like on TikTok and.
Well, even something that I didn't realize until I started following a lot of them too is like the professional photo shoots that people get at cons. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of photographers won't shoot with black cosplayers.
What the fuck?
And like I didn't know that was a thing.
Wow, that's really fucked up. What is their thought process? I mean, if you hire someone.
All right, so here's where my photography crossover comes in.
Crossover.
So to put it bluntly, shooting white people is easy.
Yeah. Lighting and stuff is obviously going to be a lot different.
The lighting is easy. Editing is easy. Is just the whole process is
it's funny that you say that while I'm working on a black coat and I like had to make it gray to have any definition, because when it was black it like there was no shading, so it's just kind of apropos.
And that's really an issue. I don't know if you remember Google when they released the Pixels 5, 6, and 7, somewhere in those set of phones. Mm-hmm. One of their big selling points was the camera software being able to better recreate skin that wasn't white. Mm. And like that's kind of a tangent thing, but like
no, I mean it's interesting.
Not white is something people don't focus on, and it's not one of those things where you can light all skin the same. You just can't.
Yeah, and I mean if you just try to use filters to make it lighter or whatever, it's not going to look as good. It's not going to look the same as like taking a picture.
Yeah, and what's her name? I feel really bad. I don't remember her name now. She's a really famous celebrity photographer, but she got in a lot of people were roasting her online because she did shoots with Simone Biles and Serena.
Oh, Williams. I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, and
she like lightened their skin or something.
So it's not so much that she lightened their skin, but she edits all of her photos the same, and it's been this way for a really long time. And the
intrigue of the photography world.
Yeah. Right. So there's this thing where like you know, they say when you hire a photographer, you also hire their editing style.
Right.
And photographers get very attached to how they edit their photos. So, you know, she did the photos, she edited them the same way that she edits everyone's photos. But because Simone Biles and Serena Williams are very dark skinned women, those photos did not
Look good.
turn out as well as, you know, other work that she's done.
Yeah.
According to other people, I looked at them and I understood why they look the way they do, but like I also agree that as a photographer, that's a thing you should adjust for. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, it's
You
like
don't just look at
hairdressing,
it.
right? Like you have
Yeah.
to. It's suggested to go to someone who's
Deal with
used to
it.
working with black hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so all of that tangent leading back to like a lot of cosplay photographers don't
Yeah.
take the time to like really learn how to
Sheesh.
work with black people or like fuller figured people, and
Yeah.
God help you if you're a fuller figured black woman.
Lizzo should cosplay.
Wow, like that was a thing that I didn't know until I followed, really started following a bunch of cosplayers. So it's
Yeah.
like, that's ridiculous. I would
Yeah.
love to be a part of changing that, but then I realized like I have no opportunities to ever go to cons.
Well, you could
But
fly to
I
them.
did. There's some local ones and stuff. Like I would really like to make an effort to go to more cons.
Yeah,
at
like
least
why
local
can't
ones.
you? I mean, you don't have kids yet.
Scheduling issues
Yeah.
for one thing.
So what
I
you're
never
saying
know
is we
when
need
they
to
are.
do GoFundMe so that we can pay to send you out to do some photos.
Yeah, the funny part is I would make the money back. Like it's
Yeah.
not even the money part so much. It's just
The difficulty, yeah.
yeah.
That's
So-
adulthood. I know, that's why like I feel bad that I don't, do more high quality videos, because it's like, well, I'm home, I'm not out working a 9 to 5. But as like Zan likes to try to reassure me, it's not like I'm doing nothing at home. I'm just
No, you have a harder job than everybody listening to this right now.
nah. Not now that the
So,
kids are in daycare.
You know what? You say that, but still, like being a stay-at-home parent is a harder job than pretty much most of us have. So
It does definitely
I-
get irritating being like the
I
default
think
parent.
you don't cut yourself. Yeah, you don't cut yourself enough slack.
It was like, oh, Aiden's sick. Guess who's taking him to the ER? But yeah. What time is it? 3:10. I'm gonna go till 3:30. So back to video games. What is it about a game that makes you like really interested, especially if it's a new IP? What kind of stuff catches your interest?
So I think like right now I'm definitely into the more action adventure genre.
Yeah, you're a big fan of Elden Ring, which I mean I don't know what
yeah.
genre you would even call that, but
So Elden Ring is definitely like more of an adventure game. It has RPG elements. Like if you want to get in the weeds, I'm gonna not do that. It's like an action adventure game. It's just a Dark Souls brand action adventure game.
yeah,
But I think I'm into those most because I don't have to think as much
yeah, exactly.
as I do about like actual RPGs.
That's one of the reasons I like Hades so much. Is like I can just pick it up and go, but it does have a story, but you don't have to like
Yeah.
remember every detail.
Right. And so there's a few RPGs that like, for example, the Mega Man Battle Network collection just released. And so like that was a set of RPGs that I was really liked, which is kind of ironic because I never got into Pokemon.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
But
they're
Mega Man
cute. I
Battle
just don't like the
Network is
gameplay.
super different. Well, and that's the funny thing is so instead of collecting Pokemon in Pokemon, like Mega Man Battle Network has you collecting battle chips,
Hmm.
and so it's not super different from Pokemon, but I guess because it's a Mega Man game, like I like
I
it
never
more.
heard of it. So, Mega
Um,
Man is so hard. I have never been able to play much Mega Man. Kicks my ass every
so
time.
the original Mega Man is very difficult. Mega Man X not so much. Um, and then there was the Mega Man Zero series, which is like the Dark Souls era of Mega Man. Like
Hmm.
as hard as you thought original Mega Man was, Mega Man Zero is much worse.
I just remember every time I've ever tried Mega Man, like, it was so fast and precise that
Yeah,
I could not do it. I can't
the
really
the
do
one
precise games.
yeah the X series was a lot more forgiving than the original Mega Man was. Especially since you can get like power ups in X, which really helps the gameplay and stuff. If you're a person that like take hits more,
Yeah.
um, so having
It's,
the armor upgrades was really helpful to
yeah.
me.
It's funny to me how, what do you call it? Dark Souls, like when it first came out, I actually was at Anime Expo when they had a guy from the Japanese company that made it. Is it From Software?
Yeah,
Yeah, they had him, and he was trying to explain the game, and like there was a lot of language barrier. Like he was speaking English, but like what he was saying made no sense. And I just remember he was doing this and he was showing us some clips and people were watching it like, I don't know. And like the first two, there was a lot of, it was like niche and it was, very um, clout based where it was like, get good, or whatever. And then
yeah,
I think one of the reasons Elden Ring did so well is that a lot of people find it the most accessible. I could not the first one, the only one I actually beat all the way, I think, was the first one. And then of course there's Bloodborne. I think Bloodborne was like the first one that a lot of people got into enough that it kind of stopped being niche.
right.
Yeah, and then Elden Ring is like the most accessible Dark Souls, which almost sounds like a oxymoron. But
Yeah. Well, it is actually.
yeah.
I think it really is, and
Yeah.
it got a lot of people into
No, I mean I
going
agree for
back.
sure. Like
Um,
honestly, Elden Ring almost feels easy compared to a lot of the other Dark Souls games. The open world aspect, I get lost all the time, and it's like the more I have to look up how to get through an area, the quicker I lose interest in a game.
right.
Unfortunately, but
No, that makes sense. Elden Ring's a huge game, so like
hmm
there's even I had to look up like stuff to do sometimes just
yeah.
because it's just not apparent.
And also because the game is hard, you know how some games will make an area hard as like a sign to not go there yet. But with
Yeah.
something like Elden Ring, it's like, is it hard because I'm not supposed to be here yet, or is it hard because this is a hard game? And I had like the same thing.
Sometimes both.
Yeah,
Like when they stuck the tree sentinel guy like right out of the first area, you know?
yeah, yeah, and like there was that fight that's in the weird pit or whatever, and I could not beat it, and I could not beat it, and I looked it up, and then it talks about like help the wolf guy, and then he'll help you with the fight, and like and I did that, and it was so much less hard once I did that. But if I had
Yeah.
not looked it up, and I mean, some people really like that, really like, not getting your hand held. And I mean, again, you can't please everybody. And, what I find fun, other people probably find super boring. And then other people probably think, there's probably some people that think what I want is too easy. And then other people think it's too hard. I still love that my mom, bless her, did play Dark Souls. She was terrible at it, but she did play. And I always thought that was kind of really, like, cute, almost. This like old lady with slow reaction speed playing Dark Souls. I always called it the tortoise and the hare, because that is the thing about, like, yeah, you can still die easily at any point in Dark Souls, but like with the how do you say it? Estus flask or whatever, like you're not losing everything, and you keep items and everything, so it's like you'll lose all the souls you gathered, but for the most part, as far as I remember, you don't lose actual levels. Am I misremembering that? No? Okay. But yeah, like, you'll die a lot, but it's, you're reincarnating with a lot of the same stuff still. It's not the same as, like, Nintendo Hard, where you lost the entire game and you had to start from the ground. But I just love that, there's so much emphasis on timing and actually thinking about combat and, parrying and stuff. Like, I love games when I can wrap my head around parrying. It's, like, the best thing ever. Like, that, in Legend of Zelda, in Breath of the Wild, parrying the Guardians when they shoot you feels so good. It's hard, but it feels so good when you get it right.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
Parry timings myself, just
Yeah.
like I just picked it back up, trying to, get back good with this, and I feel bad because I should be so much better at parrying than I am, considering how much Bloodborne and...
I mean, each game has its own kind of, like, frame of, I can't, like, hitbox or whatever the official word is and stuff like that. Like, that was one thing that was fun about Mortal Shell, which, not a lot of people knew about, and I just discovered it randomly when I played it because it was on the Xbox Pass. And it was really cool that they had this mechanic of you could freeze yourself for like a second.
Yeah, the hardening was really weird to get used to, because technically there's like parrying and hardening.
Yeah. But I really liked the hardening because it was like, you harden right before a strike and they hit you and it bounces off, and then you hit them super hard afterward. And I just thought that was really cool because it's not just a single button press that you do right before they hit you. Like, there are all these different ways that you could use it. But that's another game that I just kind of, like, stopped playing one day and then just never went back to.
Me too. And I've gotten, like, the first couple bosses down and was like, maybe I'm gonna enjoy this game.
You didn't like it?
And then I didn't hate it. I just didn't, like, get into it as much as I thought I would. But
so what is
I started playing it because of the Xbox Pass too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I still feel bad because I'm still paying for it, but, like, I don't really play the Xbox that much. But I figure, it's a lot cheaper than buying a new game every month.
Right.
Mostly I play PC games, I would say. And occasionally, like, it was funny because I was playing the Zelda on the TV last night, and it's the first time since I started playing it again that I played on the TV. I was playing on the tablet before, and it's weird playing on a controller because I was playing on the Pro controller or whatever. And it's cool because it still has the motion controllers, because, like, I did a shrine where you had to, like, rotate this maze and everything, and it was really responsive, and that was kind of cool, although I kept having to reset it because if you move it too much, it gets all wonky. Right. And then I was, like, doing it, and I kept going through the whole maze, and then I accidentally discovered if you rotate it before the ball comes down, you can put it in the last area and not have to redo all that, and I was like, oh. I wish I'd known that, like, 20 times ago.
I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
We'll keep that in the memory banks for later.
It's the one... It's the one outside of the village that has the telescope in it. I think it's that one. But yeah.
I was not a fan of that maze because, like, I'm really not great at motion control.
Oh, I know. Like, it took me maybe 40 tries. And I was doing it, like, late at night. And I was like, okay, I'm going to beat this puzzle and then go to bed. God damn it, this is taking forever. Yep. But then I finally got it. But yeah, I know, like, Zelda puzzles. I mean, I love the shrine. I love the shrine setup in that, like, if you want to, you can do all these extra things, but you don't have to beat the game. And, it's like side quests or whatever. Of course, I feel like I have to do every side quest I come across, and that's part of why I tend to not finish games, because I'll just be like, I must do all the side quests, and then I'm like, I haven't even gotten through the main plot because I've been doing all these side quests, and then I just run out of energy.
Well, I don't know. In this game, they're kind of important because if you don't get those extra art upgrades, you can't get the
Oh
master
yeah.
upgrades, so.
I mean, it's definitely a lot harder if you don't do them, and I'm sure there's like people doing expert runs. But it's more like if a particular one is just too
Yeah,
hard
don't
for
have
you,
to
you
do,
can
like,
skip that
all of
one.
them.
That was a big thing with my mom, is that like she wouldn't play a game if it was like that, if they wouldn't let you move past a puzzle. That was like one of her biggest gripes. I should have done more videos with her about gaming. I kind of tried to start a channel with her that was going to be like generational gaming, but just never got around to it, so. But that's okay. Now I can do it with the boys, especially as they get older. Like, I suggested to Link, my son, I was like, hey Link, do you want to like live stream together while you play all the Zeldas? And he was like, I would love that. Actually, what he said is like, I wouldn't like it, I would love it. He's doing that. It's adorable. And it's funny because like he likes to record stuff, but then he gets bored really quickly. So it's like I'll set it up, and then by the time I'm set up, he's like, I'm gonna go watch TV. I'm like, really? I just set it up for you. But yeah. I don't know. So, yeah, sorry, I totally cut you off. So what is it, do you think, that's like the biggest thing that decides if you're interested in a game?
I don't know if there's like one particular thing. So I do know that like I'm more likely to check out a game if the like protagonist isn't like straight white guy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gonna immediately catch my attention.
Yeah, same. That's what I was saying about Forspoken. And it's like why I wanted it to do well. Because, of course, it's like the XKCD comic where, like, a guy sucks at math, and it's like, you suck at math, and the woman sucks at it. It's like, all women suck at math. I was like, oh, you know, go woke, go broke, even though that doesn't actually really... yeah, like, you know, evidence doesn't bear out for that, but you still got all these guys, especially gamers. It sucks. I mean, I think we've talked about it before, but it kind of sucks being a progressive gamer, you know, gamer of color or woman gamer or whatever, because it feels like it's changing, and actually, like, it's almost becoming more capitalistic to highlight, you know, people of color gaming and stuff like that, but the culture of gamers as a whole, I still feel like is very sexist, racist, you know. How can I play a game if I can't identify with the main character? Like, I don't know. I've been managing to do it this whole time.
Right. It's like, I'm not an Italian plumber, but that didn't really stop us from enjoying Mario.
Yeah,
so, like,
and like, how superficial is that? Like, you can't identify with a character unless they look like you. Not about, you know, their life experiences or like, you know, just anything to do with that. No, purely it has to do with how they look. That's so boring. Like, how empty is your identity if that's all it takes for you to feel like a character's like you? I don't know.
The funniest thing is, like, those are the people that play Call of Duty the most. Mm-hmm. So, like...
Well, they fantasize. They fantasize about themselves being a badass and... Yeah.
And having tons of guns and getting to indiscriminately shoot whoever they want because they feel like it.
Yeah. Oh man, I was reading about the guy that released all those documents on Discord. He has this like massive collection of guns, and like his room in his dad's like basement or something, because of course, is like all made up in camo and everything. And like he would regularly like make comments on Discord fantasizing about like killing people and everything. Like he was basically, you know, quote unquote, one bad day away from a mass shooting. And it's just like, it's so stereotypical. It's like, really, dude? Like, can be a little less basic, but yeah.
And I guess that's what it is. But I to continue that answer is like, that's a big thing, is like, if it's a game where I'm not doing that stereotypical thing.
Yeah, they'll take what you can get.
Yeah. And so maybe that's another reason I like Resident Evil 5 so much, is like I get
Shiva.
to play you know?
Shiva's a badass. Like, she's almost stronger and better at her mission than Chris is. Like, she, you know, she's in her
Here's
element.
the thing I love talking about when it comes to her character and Jill for that matter.
Yeah.
Because if you play the DLC Lost in Nightmares, it explains why Jill is brainwashed in the first place. And both Jill and Sheva canonically have come the closest to killing Wesker before Wesker actually dies at the end of 5. Because Jill knocks him out of a window, like she sacrifices herself for Chris to knock Wesker out of a window, right? And then Sheva does exactly the same thing at the end of the game.
Of course,
like,
people
Chris,
rarely actually die in Resident Evil games.
Yeah, like,
You haven't seen my final form.
Yeah, if you're a main character, you have plot armor for sure.
Yeah.
But it's like people really don't give them. That's changing a little bit now.
Yeah.
But like when 5 first came out, it was like, oh, we hate Sheva, the AI, whatever. But like if you look at Sheva's actions in the game, it's like
The AI? How is that her fault? Like.
well, you know, they use any excuse to.
Oh yeah.
And here's the thing, and a lot of people don't actually play as Sheva once you beat the game, even though that's an option to do, right? So a lot of people exclusively think Sheva's AI is bad.
That doesn't
And
make
it's not
any
Sheva's
sense.
AI.
It's the exact
It
same
doesn't.
AI.
Right, but like I said, a lot of people don't ever play as Sheva. They
That's
just.
weird.
But yeah, so you know, Jill supposedly kills Wesker, sacrificing herself for Chris, which, you know,
For a man.
Sheva did that. Right. And then Sheva does the same thing at the end of 5, like right before final battle. Like she was willing to like die to kill Sheva or kill Wesker too, to keep Chris safe. I mean, you know, and it's like, Chris, are you so incompetent that these women have to keep saving your butt? Like, why
Jon
is
Snow.
Chris the main guy? So ridiculous. Like, I don't understand why people love Chris so much. And like,
I don't like
the
him.
whole of Rebel. Yeah, I don't know.
He's like the most stereotypical, just like super strong cis dude. Like even Leon, at least he's got anime boy hair. And he's funny. I think he's funny. Chris is too serious from what I remember.
Chris is ridiculous, man, and just like following so much of his storyline, he that whole alcoholic thing from RE6, you know, is just like, Chris, if you were a more competent guy, people would stop dying around you, man.
That was so funny in Village, though. I mean, you were watching me stream it, but I just love that, like, the girl dies, and he's like, why does everyone die around me? I loved it. It was, like, almost fourth wall breaking. But, yeah.
But anyway, that's why I don't like Chris, and I like Jill and Sheva the most, because they're actually competent people.
And interesting.
Chris rides everyone else's coattails.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if it wasn't for Piers in 6, like, Chris would have died. Like, in every game, someone saves Chris because
that sounds like it would be a.
Somehow he's the golden boy.
That sounds like it would be a good compilation where it's like every time someone else saved Chris's dumbass.
And I mean, like, even Resident Evil Revelations kind of starts out that way, you know?
Yeah.
Like, where the whole point was they thought they were going to go save Chris.
Yeah. Gunslicker says, most fun thing about Chris is boulder punching. Otherwise, it's okay, bro. Calm down with the muscles. I know. I remember before it came out and they showed promotional stuff for, I think it was 5, and people were like, it looks like he's smuggling cantaloupes under his sleeve.
Well, I mean, that's why one of my favorite lines in Village is when Heisenberg just, like, refers to Chris as boulder punching ass.
Again, it's like fourth wall breaking.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. It is great. I just wish Chris would go away.
Write a letter, start a petition, Stop having Chris as a main character in Resident Evil games.
Exactly. and the animated movies, like, just kill Chris off and I'll be okay. Because
Jeez, harsh.
Well, I mean, how has this man survived everything?
Jon Snow. It's plot armor, like you said. But
yeah,
all right.
So I think if they get rid of him, then we can have Jill back for real.
Yeah, let's have an all-female Resident Evil game. Like, we have the all-female Marvel movie coming out that, like, instantly became the most disliked video on YouTube before the movie's not even out. They just put the trailer up. Yeah.
I've already written the plot for that game. So.
Hey.
It involves Jill and Sheva, and no Chris at all.
Lesbian porn. All right, I'm gonna stop the stream now because Matthew's on his way home. But it's fun talking to you. I love talking about games and stuff with you, and we're still gonna make that three-way with you, Bunny, and me talking about imposter syndrome and your experiences with nude photography and stuff like that. So we'll make it happen. I promise. It'll make it happen. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I mean, it's basically just the regulars, but all right, I'll see you guys later. Bye. How do I end the call? There we go.